Hello, testing. Is this thing on? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Shady Monkey Show.
Yo, welcome to the Shady Monkey Podcast. We have a special guest today, Jay Illidge.
Good to see you, brother. Good
Thanks,
to see you. Good
thanks
to
for
be here,
coming.
Man. Good to be here, mate. Good to be here.
Shout out to our sponsor, Oriental Distilling Company, for making the best gin in China. And
Yeah, let's try some.
yeah, and this bad boy it scares me to death.
When you said we're going to break out the big guns,
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say absinthe. I knew you were going to say it. And I thought, why me, man? Why me?
And you love it, right?
That's the problem. I like it. I like this stuff. I like Jägermeister. I like absinthe. I like these kind of like Sambuca as well, that kind of shit. I like it. That's the problem.
Yeah, I like absinthe. Like I can't. It makes me crazy. I mean, like
Right, everyone's got their own certain drink that makes them kind of flip out a little bit, right?
like tequila is like usually like the more common one that makes me go a little wacky.
Yeah. But
You know?
shit like Jose Cuervo is rubbish, but like really good tequila. Like a few years ago, I was given 2 bottles of really decent Mexican tequila for my birthday, and that goes down super smooth, it's like honey. You don't
Right.
get a burn, it's just like, oh, it's a real sipping drink, like a good scotch or something, you know? A good tequila.
And you brought some special spoons and
Yeah, we're going to do it the proper way.
all right, you do the honors, man.
All right, so,
I'll pour the gin while you take care of that.
all right. So you know what absinthe is from, right?
I have no idea.
So absinthe is made from wormwood. It's a wormwood spirit, which came from the Egyptian Empire.
And wormwood is just wood.
Yep.
It's like a special kind of.
Yep, you got it. I need to get these fucking things out. But then absinthe comes from Spain about 150 years ago. And of course it's bitter, right? So at that point, like, it was the French that decided, this is too bitter. So they decided to put some sugar and some water with it. And it kind of like sweetens it down a little bit. So you put absinthe in the glass, sugar cube on top, you drip some water through it. And when the sugar cube's dissolved, you give it a stir. And then it kind of takes away the bitterness of the absinthe.
All right.
None of the alcohol, of course, right?
Well, if you want some lemon with your gin,
Absolutely, man.
just help yourself.
Get some of that, right. Oh, shit. He's on there.
Let's cheers to this first, and then we'll get into.
Absolutely, bro.
All right, man.
Good
Thanks
to
for
be
coming.
here. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that is good.
That's yummy. I love this blood orange one. They have this raspberry one, which we've already drinking, and this blood orange one, it's fire.
Yeah. Raspberry one too sweet, or is it okay?
What's that?
Is it too sweet, or is it
The
okay?
raspberry. It's not that. I mean, it's definitely sweeter than this, but it's not like overbearingly sweet. I wouldn't call it a sweet drink. So
That's good, mate. That's good. We like gin.
yeah. And man, we're in the new studio. It's not
First time in the new digs, mate.
set up yet
Mate,
properly.
nice. Looking good, though. Looking nice.
We got
Looking good.
no air conditioning here, so we're gonna
Yeah, we're
be.
gonna get a little bit-
I'm already
We're
sweating.
going to get a little glistening, maybe. A
I'm
little
already.
glistening. All right.
So how do we do this? I'll let you do it, man. So this is a French. So
Spanish.
the Spanish made the drink, but the French added the sugar.
Yep, you got it. I think it's the French aristocracy, like the early 1900s, were deciding that it was a little bit too bitter, so you add some sugar and some water, and it kind of takes it, dilutes it a little bit, and also takes away a bit of bitterness.
And this is the drink that that Vincent Van Gogh like cut his ear off on.
Was it? I don't know, man.
You know,
I don't know.
that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. He used to love this drink.
Can we pour a little bit of this out? We've got a little bit too much water in here. We need to get it down a little bit so we can easy to pour. Thank you. All right. All right, man. Let's talk about some history.
Yeah,
How did I first meet you? Remember?
I have no idea.
Remember Sylvan?
I remember Sylvan. Yeah,
Right, so...
you remember? Is it?
yeah, man, for sure. So,
My memory is terrible.
all right, so Sylvan was the guy who supplied my bar with wine.
So you had a bar in SeaWorld?
No, I was working the bar in SeaWorld.
Oh, okay.
But I had a bar in Dongguan.
Okay.
After I quit the bar, the band in SeaWorld, I had a bar in Dongguan for like a year and a half. Sylvan was my wine guy. So this is like 2000.
So he was working for like Summergate or something?
Yeah. It's like 2014. And I got Sylvan's WeChat.
Uh-huh.
And I started to see like his WeChat moments and stuff. And I see like you boys doing the parties and stuff.
The Shady Monkey crew.
Yeah. There's you, Mafio, and Skiz, right?
Yeah.
And I was looking at this, and I was like, first of all, there's no hip hop in Shenzhen.
None.
And then I see you guys, and there's like two, like, you and Mafio look super fucking intimidating in these videos. Like these big guys. And I thought, wow, this looks really cool. And I was always a little bit too, I don't know, a little bit nervous to go to these kind of parties and stuff. I'm not a party guy anyway.
Right.
But then I got to meet you, and you're super chill, you're super cool. And then I got to know Mafio in like 2016. And he looks like this fucking...
He looks like
guy.
a beast,
He
you know,
looks
like he's gonna...
He's got big fucking square glasses.
Yeah,
and
his
shit.
Versace
And you meet him, and
glasses.
he's such an absolute sweetheart. He's like the nicest bloke you can talk to. He's like so soft and quietly spoken and stuff. And then he left. It was a real disappointment when he left. I was like, damn, because like...
So you just met him, and then he was like...
I met him in 2016. And
Yeah,
he
so-
left in 2017. I think,
Yeah, shortly
right?
after.
Yeah, so, yeah, man, that's it. Yeah. So I know through Sylvan, that's how I know you. Let me try and pull this in.
Yeah, Sylvan, I met him. We were just talking about the old Galleon. He was working at the Galleon. He was the manager.
Yeah. He was for a while, right?
And then...
Okay, then we got to wait a little while, and when we do a few more drips, and it will dissolve eventually.
So we mix it with water. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So it kind of becomes like a little cocktail.
Yeah, like same as like whiskey. Like they say, you shouldn't really put anything with whiskey except maybe ice or water,
Right.
Just to dilute it a little bit. So I think it's the same with that. But you add a lot of sugar to this as well. So eventually this will start to dissolve. Then we pour more water, and then it'll get to maybe like halfway up. Then we give it a good stir, and then it's time to.
Now you just sip it, or you bang it down?
I'm from London, mate. We just knock it down. But like, no, you should sip it, right? You should sip it. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
All right, nice, man, nice.
So a few more doses of water.
Yep, you got it. You can see it start to dissolve already, right?
Yeah.
When it starts to go down, then you give it a good stir and we get in there. Yeah, it's all good.
I'm excited, dude. I mean, this stuff always makes me. I usually like end my night with this because like you're already drinking, and then it's like, oh, let's do absinthe.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's
oh,
end of night shots.
it's
That's
a
what
good
does it, man.
idea, and then
Right.
just like the next day.
Yeah, the amount of times at the end of the night, I like a sambuca. I like sambucas, right? End of the night, a couple of sambucas.
Sambuca is like a rakia.
It's like the anise flavor, like aniseed.
It's like that
licorice,
liquidishy-
flavor. Yeah, you got it.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's really
See, I like that.
sugary and like it really coats your throat. And so it's always a good idea at like in 2 in, and you wake up in the morning, all you can taste is like sugary, sweet aniseed in your throat, and you wake up, you can't get that flavor out. The rest of the day, it's always like every time you burp, it's like,
Right.
so you got it right.
So what brought you here to China? You've been here for a while.
I came beginning of 2010, April 2010.
Around the same time.
Yeah, that's when I first came. So in the springtime, I've been for 14 years. 14 years in
Wow.
Shenzhen, man, that's a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah, so, all right, so a little bit of history. So I was a musician in UK for like 20 years. Always doing two kind of music, always doing like wedding band stuff to pay the bills, and always doing original music too, for fun, but you don't get no money on that, of course, right? They've even got like the pay-to-play policy in London, so if you want to go and play at some kind of venue, you have to guarantee 100 people are going to come. So you have to pay the bar. And then when people come, they give you the money back. If they don't come, if you can't fill it, then you lose your money. Right?
Oh, shit.
It's really shit, right?
Yeah.
So doing like wedding gigs and stuff, that pays the bills.
Right. Bar mitzvahs and...
I mean, we haven't got that, not so much in UK, in London a little bit, but not so much in UK. Weddings, events, corporate stuff, whatever. I was a musician for like 20 years. And then I was living in London, I was like early 30s, 31, whatever. I had a girlfriend, everything's going well, but I was working my bollocks off in London. Like, London's a fucking expensive place, right? So I was working 2 or 3 jobs. I had like a full-time day job. In the evening time, I was working a bar or playing music, working the weekends, all that stuff. I was with my girlfriend, and I kind of thought I wanted to get more of a normal job. So I went to work in Germany for the best part of a year for a guitar company. Really famous guitar company, amazing guitars, really beautiful. I was there for almost a year. There was only 2 bosses above me. There was like my manager and then the owner of the company. And the owner of the company was a super sweet guy. But my immediate manager was the world's biggest cock you could ever meet. And I don't want to say much, but he's just absolute dicks, racist, horrible cock. So I left there, I came back to London in about November or December. And the first thing I did was advertise like musician available. I got to pay the bills, right? So I joined a band, a function band, whatever. And the manager from Macaulay's, remember there was one Cocker Park, the one in Sea.
Sure, yeah.
Right? So The original manager from Macaulay's was a British guy called Paul, and he's from Kent, which is right next to London. He was there for the winter time to see his kids and whatever else. And he saw my advert, and he got in touch with me, blah, blah, blah. And he said, yeah, I'm looking for a musician, looking for a bass player. I play bass. And it's an Irish bar. He said, but the bar's not in England. Would you mind moving? In my mind, I thought, Irish bar. I thought, yeah, like in Ireland, right?
Right.
So I'm half Irish. My mum's Irish.
Right.
I've never really been to Ireland. I thought, wow, it'd be great. Go to Ireland, be fucking cool. Like in top of the morning to you and drinking Guinness all day. And I went to his house for like a little, what's it called? Like a demonstration of what you can do.
A jam or whatever.
We got on great. Me and him were like brothers straight away. And he said, the bar's in Shenzhen. And
China.
I was like, no, he just said Shenzhen.
Oh.
Right? And I was like, where's Shenzhen? Because I never heard of it.
It's not in Ireland.
I heard of Canton before, which is obviously Guangzhou. I knew about Beijing and Shanghai. I heard of Hong Kong, didn't know where it was. Heard of Taiwan, didn't know where it was. And he's like, oh, it's next to Hong Kong. And I was like, you got to be more specific. Like, I didn't even know where Hong Kong was, right? I thought it was Indonesia or Malaysia or some shit. And he's like, no, it's in South China. And I was like, oh, okay. And like all my life, there's places you want to go to and places you don't really care so much about. Like, I've never wanted to go to Russia. I've never wanted to go to Dubai. And I never wanted to go to China. I never thought any reason to go to China, right? I always thought it was like fucking pointy hats and farmers, right?
Right, rice fields.
So literally, I met this guy, and then 3 weeks later, I quit my job, quit the apartment, everything, just done a complete flatline. And 3 weeks after meeting him, I'm living in Shenzhen, a bass player in this bar, in the house band. So there's like a Philippine band that's still in Shenzhen now, they're still in Shoko now. Philippine house band, and we're playing...
So you joined the Philippine house band.
Yeah. So Paul, the manager, was also the guitar player and the singer, and he wanted another Westerner to come along, and just like a bit of camaraderie and whatever else.
Right.
And so like in a function, like an event band in the UK, you have to learn maybe 50 or 80 songs. To join this band, we learned like 300. So we had like a month rehearsal.
300.
Like the Philippine boys, the Philippine musicians, like we were in there one night playing, and you take requests from the audience, right? And this guy shouts out, Rod Stewart. And the keyboard guy goes, which one? I'm like, I don't know any Rod. I know Rod Stewart, but I don't know how to play him. And he's like, which one? You can name a song. And these
guys know, they're unbelievable.
Right, as long as one guy knows the chords, then you got these finger signs like F, E, C, and literally one guy starts playing it and you just do C, and you can watch his fingers and watch the keys and stuff. And these guys can pick up like anything in moments.
Just
like,
jam to it.
Incredible musicians.
Right.
So yeah, so
as long as you know what is like the main chorus.
As long as you've heard the song, like you can kind of figure it out, right?
Well, you also have to know the words too if you want to sing it properly.
Yeah, there's the thing. So this is before like iPads were everywhere. Like there wasn't like cell phones you can download it in a second. Like you have to know the words or you didn't, pretty much, right? Things are a bit different now. So I was in the band, so I came across here and I came for a 6-month contract. I thought, right, I'm going to be 6 months, like see a bit of the world, see a bit of China. And then go back to London, back to the job, back to the girlfriend, all that stuff. Anyway, girlfriend ended in like 2 weeks' time. She was Korean and didn't like China. And she said, if you go to China, I'm not going to visit you. I'm not going to go there. You can't trust Chinese people, all this stuff, right? So it ended after like 2 weeks. And it took me about a month. And I realized, this is like, I'm going to be here for a while, you know? That kind of feeling, just different. Like so completely opposite from where I'm from in London, which is like, by far from a wealthy area. And you come live in Shoko, I was living in SeaWorld, right? Which is then beautiful houses, beautiful apartments, a bar. I was working in London like fucking 50, 60 hours a week. I come to work here in Macaulay's and I was working 16 hours a week.
Just nights, right?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, 4 hours a night. The salary wasn't much, it was like 10,000 then. But for a musician, it was all right. You got free bar tab, all the food's free, drinks free and stuff. And every day was just like, you go to work at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. You play until
get smashed.
You get hammered. You go to all the bars. You go to all the other live bands. You go to barbecue. You go throw some dice. Whatever you're gonna do. You know, you get home at 6 in the morning. I'm like, fucking, I've made it. This is it. Hallelujah, right? So yeah, that was beginning of 2010. Yeah, I've done that until like 2013, something 2014. Yeah, good times, mate.
Now, you still doing music now, or?
No. So.
Not even like your own like personal band, or?
I want to, right? One thing I've learned about music is like, when you have like a hobby that you really aspire to make your job, it's really dangerous if it does, because like, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it, right? So like if you're whatever you do, if you're a painter and you become a professional painter, if you're a musician, you're playing what other people want you to play. I mean, of all the professional musicians, 99% play weddings and corporate events, and 1% are like the Coldplays and the U2s and like the original bands, right? So when you do that, it changes from wanting to play to having to play. When you're playing like a bar band, like I was doing, if someone shouts out like in Bryan Adams or Bon Jovi, then you got to play it, right? And that sounds all right if you're doing it once a week, but when you're doing it 4 or 5 nights a week, and every single night you're playing Smoke on the Water, Smells Like Teen Spirit, AC/DC, after a couple of 100 times, you're a bit like, you got to give it energy, you've got to still be there, you've got to be the guy.
Yeah, you still got to put on the show.
Yeah, right, you've got to put on the show, right? And one thing I really admire about all these professional bands, the Philippine bands and whatever, when they do a show, they really, every night they're jumping, they're having a really good time. But inside them, it's be like, fuck this. You know? After a while. So, yeah, I've done that for like 3 years. And after 3 years, I was just like, SeaWorld was changing. The money was going. There was a lot of corporate guys in SeaWorld. Like the oil company guys, the gas company guys, they were all leaving. SeaWorld was changing. And I just got kind of sick of playing those songs night after night after night after night. So I thought I'd take a break, and that was 10 years ago. I used to play in Hong Kong a little bit, in Ned Kelly and some other places.
Shit, that just ruined it.
I played a bit in Hong Kong a few times, but then Hong Kong got closed for the pandemic bullshit. So at the moment, no, but I'm maybe working on something.
Do I need another sugar cube?
No, that one's all right. And it'd be too sugary, too much sugar. Let's just give it a bit more water.
Yeah, it's pretty dissolved.
Oh shit! Now it's more dissolved. All right, give that a stir.
It's in. It's done.
Yeah, just give it a stir. I'll do mine at the same time.
Yeah, I'll let it sit there for a minute though.
Oh, smell it, mate. Smell it.
Fuck.
Yeah, let it sit for a second. Yeah, so no, I'm not doing anything musically. I'm looking. I want to do something else soon. But like Shenzhen's a funny place. Like Shenzhen's got quite a lot of creativity, but when it comes to the music scene, it's definitely lacking something. Compared to like you go to Guangzhou, Wuhan, you go to Beijing, Shanghai. There's so much live music compared to Shenzhen.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That I heard like Beijing especially. It's like
Beijing's like rock and metal capital. Wuhan's got tons of great music too. Shanghai's got some great bars for live music, and Shenzhen we've got Brown Sugar, we've got Whole Live, we've got B10, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
There's a few like bar bands.
But like when you think about like Whole Live and like B10, those are more of like touring.
Yeah, they're established bands. Yeah.
It's not like local bands.
Yeah.
I would say like before. You had like a few places like Rapscallions.
Yeah.
Used to cater more towards.
Yeah, but Rapscallions were like a lot of open mic nights, like the English teachers and playing fucking Wonderwall.
Yeah, but that's true. But like, I feel like there was a time though when there was a big group of original bands.
Kurt was there, John,
Kurt,
Adrian, those guys.
Right.
Like 2015.
And even
16.
like remember like Rue.
Yeah.
Like he was putting on this like rock and roll festival with a bunch of local bands.
Yeah.
At least in the foreigner community, I felt like it's a lot less now than it was.
Yeah.
They
were the only ones really doing
8 years ago or 7 years ago.
Yeah, they were the only ones doing anything then. But nowadays it's like
I don't know it. I mean, I know one band.
Yeah, there's a lot of bar bands.
But I'm not talking about bar band. Like I know like Kurt's in a band. No Disintegrations or something like that.
Yeah. But how often do you see him play?
Once a year.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like from where you're from, where I'm from, in London, you can Tuesday night you go what's the world's best fucking reggae band. It costs you £5 a ticket or something, or you go and see an amazing dub band or an amazing DJ set in the local pub. It costs you the price of a beer.
And these guys are not big names; they're just local
guys,
boys, right?
Local guys, London guys or UK guys, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And the price is great, and you have a great night. You see the fucking best band in the world down the Dog and Duck pub on a Monday morning.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right? We come to Shenzhen, it's like it's really missing that so far. Like kind of Shenzhen always feels a bit to me like it's like a big house that hasn't got enough furniture quite yet.
Right.
It just needs more stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part. I think there's two. One, Shenzhen is so new.
Yeah.
Right. And two, like, I just feel like Shenzhen's like a big. It's like a airport city, you know,
Right.
where just people, not even just for foreigners, you know, it's like also for Chinese, you know, like, you know, I know a lot of Chinese people that come here for a few years and left.
Right, yeah, it's a
you know?
transit city. People come and make money and then they
You
go
know?
home and do whatever they're going to do.
Well,
you
I
know?
feel like, you know, like I've never lived in Beijing or Shanghai, but I feel like those are more settled, you know,
Yeah.
and established just
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they're a little
yeah.
bit older.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people, a bunch of expats that moved to Shanghai or Beijing or even like Chongqing or like Chengdu. And they say, no, this is home. I can stay here. Or even Xiamen. But generally people come to Shenzhen and leave. Like,
Right, yeah.
How many people you know from when you first got here are still here now? Like a handful.
It's very, very few.
Yeah, a handful. Me too. Same. I know
So-
like you and maybe like, I don't know, half a dozen others. And all the rest of
You
them.
know, and then like every time I
you know?
go out now, it's like I don't recognize anybody.
Yeah,
Before
yeah,
I'd
yeah,
go
yeah.
out, like I recognize half the people,
Yeah.
and now it's just like I don't know anybody.
Yeah, like,
and they don't know me. You know, like
I was in SeaWorld just last week doing photos for one of the schools there.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was working at SeaWorld, and you know everybody, right? Which is a blessing and a curse, right? Sometimes, like, you know, you go out and you do something stupid, the next day the whole SeaWorld knows it, everyone knows about it, whatever else. But then I'm walking through SeaWorld now, and like, no one knows me. And I get up in the band and I play a couple of songs. They're like, oh, you play bass? I'm like, fucking hell, I was here like 15 years ago playing bass. I'm the bass player for this band, you know? It's yeah, things change, mate. Things change, really. Like the old Mama Sands know you from the bars and some of the
Right.
bands and stuff, but those kind of, they don't always remember you, right? You know, like some of the old, what's that guy? A Bottoms Up, that old hooker bar. Ah, Jay, hello Jay, long time no see.
come in.
Yeah, come in, have a drink. No, it's all right, it's okay. Shall we?
yeah. Let's,
Shall we divulge?
Let's do it.
All right.
Cheers,
man.
dude.
Cheers. You gonna skull the whole thing?
So I thought you're supposed to do. You're like, oh, I asked you about that, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna. You just fucking.
Okay. I'll follow you.
I wish I didn't. It's definitely easier with the sugar.
But it's still not easy, right?
It's still not easy. Fuck.
Yeah.
So what do you think of this?
It's good. I like it a lot. It's kind of like a medicinally cough medicine mouthwash, but I like it. Yeah. It's very sambucary too.
But like, see, I don't drink too much of this, so like, on your level of like what you've had before and compared to how this tastes. And
I think with a lot of decent alcohol, you can tell because you don't get the burn. You don't get a horrible kind of like belchy kind of like indigestion, and that's lovely. It's smooth. I mean, you get that a little bit like fire here, but you don't get like uncomfortable shit down here. You know, it's smooth, mate. It's nice. Yeah, it's good.
That's what I
It's
like
good.
about him. The guy Andy.
He's on the show, right? He's on the podcast.
Yeah, he was on the podcast. It was the only I had to edit a little bit of that podcast out because we ended up drinking this and then we just went.
And then a few drinks.
We had a few more, and then we just started talking bullshit, and I was like slurring my words.
Really? Remember,
Yeah.
I saw the podcast with Andy's system. Man, he got fucking hammered, mate. Andy's a good guy, but he got
Oh, back when with
hammered,
Freddie,
mate.
right?
He got hammered.
Oh,
mate.
he got he got. I think as soon as that podcast was finished, I think he went out and yacked. You know,
He's a good guy. He's a funny
Oh,
guy.
Andy's great.
He's a funny guy.
So, but and I thought see, I didn't expect him to get hammered because I thought he would be like but he must have drank before because he's a big drinker. You know, I know he can handle
Yeah,
his.
but he's pretty tall and pretty skinny, isn't he? And it's all like, alcohol tolerance mostly depends on body weight.
Yeah, but
Like a short, wide guy.
but we
can
were
drink
just
more than a
it
tall,
was just a
skinny
few
guy.
beers. We're not even drinking like
Yeah, just gin, right? Just gin.
no, I don't, we weren't even drinking gin. I don't think.
No? Just drinking beers?
I think it was just drinking beers
He must have been a morning session then. He must have
because
started
like
in the morning.
see that's what I think like
He's
because
English as well, mate. We have beer for breakfast sometimes.
yeah like so that's what it was like surprising. I mean maybe we were drinking something heavier. I don't remember exactly,
Yeah.
but I know like when me and Freddie were doing the podcast, mostly we drank beer. We would like buy because the Bionic was down the street.
Yeah.
You know, so we'd pick up some Bionics, or there was another craft bar craft beer bar just below
Yeah,
us.
there's so many craft beer bars in Shenzhen now, man. There's so many. Like,
Yeah,
when I
it's
first
good,
came, there
though.
was zero. Yeah, but now there's so many. I live in Longhua, and we got a whole street. And there's
So you moved out of SeaWorld.
Yeah, I lived in Seawell for like 4 years, and then I moved to Dongguan, opened my bar. I lived there for like about a year, and then that went belly up, and we got shut down. That was the time that, like, it's always like they always say, like, the right place, the right time, the right theme, right? So we had a really good bar, a nice theme. It was like a New Orleans jazz and blues bar.
Oh, okay.
We had, I was thinking about the menu. I was thinking, what will local people try? But it's still a bit
Crawfish.
foreign.
They
But
love
But
seafood.
it's chicken and crawfish, right? So it's like po' boys and, you know, it's like New Orleans food, right? So I thought, Chinese people like crawfish, people like chicken, they like crab. That was a menu. We had some bands come play, whatever else. It was just the time when they started to check the local scene, and they closed down like 80% of all the bars and KTVs in Dongguan. And it's just that time. It was like
It was the
right
KTV
bar,
shut
the right
down.
location, the right place, exactly the wrong time. It was just awful, man. So like we got shut down after like a year and a half.
Ouch.
Yeah. So the first year we were doing good, everything's fine, and then they said to us, "Okay, you've got to close at 10 p.m." I'm like, "We don't get customers until 10 p.m."
Yeah,
And
that's
then
something
after
for.
that, then after like 2 months of that, they said, "Okay, you got to close at 8 p.m." And like, we open at 6, we can't close at 8. But that was it. That was the rule. So we got shut down.
Yeah, that's a.
That was it, man.
that
That's
would
about
do
life,
it.
man. But before that, we were doing real well. We had very friendly waitresses and all that kind of stuff. We were doing good. So yeah, I moved to Dongguan, and then I moved to Hong Kong in 2015 for a couple of years,
Oh shit.
and then
Then back to Shenzhen.
back to Shenzhen. Yeah, Hong Kong's one of those places like. It's one of those places you dream to live at. Like, you know, it could be Paris or it could be Istanbul, whatever.
Yeah.
And I love Hong Kong. I still love Hong Kong. It's my favorite place to take photos. I love it.
I like Hong Kong. I don't think I could live there.
Right. After a couple of years, I was like up to here, mate. You know, it's like so expensive and it's so crowded all the time.
Yeah.
Like, for a few days, for a few months, you can do that. But after a while, you do get like, just
I mean, I like to be able to walk outside and be able to have some like fresh air and space.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah. So, I mean, after a while, it just gets a bit too much.
Yeah,
The
wait-
weekends are so fucking crowded, you know.
Yeah.
I was managing, I was a general manager for 5 bars. I had like 2 days off a month, pretty much. And I was working from like 10, 11 a.m. until like 3, 4, 5 a.m. every day. And then the 2 or 3 days off a month I come to Shenzhen, see my dog, and just sleep. I go to my friend's house, she was looking after my dog. I go and see my dog, walk my dog, and then just crash out on the sofa. That's it. And then back to Hong Kong the same night. That's it, man. That's not much of a life. You know?
Yeah, dude.
And like the drinking and stuff catches up as well. Same as working in bars. Like, if a customer buys you a drink at 10 in the morning, you can't refuse it because it's money for the bar, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you're on the tequila shots or Jägermeisters at 11 in the morning before you've had lunch, you know? You do that for a couple of years and like, you know?
That's harsh.
Yeah.
That's a harsh life.
Yeah. You lost a lot of weight, your skin goes a little bit grey, you wake up in the morning a little bit shaky, you know? It's like, that's the time, like, you still got a one try now in places, and you see some of the bar managers, and they look like 55, and they're actually like 33. They look.
It's that life,
It's
dude.
a life, man. It's
You know.
a lot of drinking, a lot of smoking, the hours, all that stuff, you know.
I mean, like it's that life like wears you out so fast. You know, like
Burn
even
out
like
real
like
fast.
I was never like a big drinker or a party guy, but then, you know, like when I was doing the Shady Monkey parties, and for that 3 years, like we would go out all the time. You know, like, and I come home in the morning time. You know, it's just like it just gets on you so fast. You know, like,
yeah.
and then you start losing your days.
Right,
You know?
miss days, right?
Or you miss
You
days.
have to ask your friend, what day is it?
Yeah,
You know,
like you know,
is it
like,
Tuesday or Thursday, you know?
and then just like for me, like especially now, like I'm older. I guess we're probably around the same age.
I'm 47. I've got a few on you. I'm
Yeah, a
47.
few, not many. 43.
Yeah.
I'll be 44 soon in a few months.
I'm 48 in January, mate. That's my.
Oh, shit.
That's an animal year, right? Every 12, 24, 36,
Yeah.
48. Next year should be a big year, mate. I'm going to make $1 million.
Oh shit! there you go, dude.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm glad those like party days are done for me, anyways.
Yeah. It's enjoyable and it's fun. Like, still now.
Yeah,
like,
it was like great memories, you know,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and good times. Just
Yeah, like my 3 odd years playing with the guys in the band, like the happiest days of probably my life. Amazing time. But there has to be you put a lid in it, you know, and you put it in a jar and you say that was a happy time. Like, I'm 47 now. If I'm doing the same shit now, I mean, some of the guys in the band are like 50, 51, right?
They're still rocking?
They're still rocking, right? And coming home at like 4, 5 in the morning, you know, and like shit catches up with you, mate.
Yeah.
You can't treat your body like forever, you know. After 40, you got to like think a little bit more about how things work, you know.
So when did you start getting heavily into photography?
So that's one of those questions, right? So
is that something
I've been asked this a few times before. Since I was a kid, I've always had a camera. I don't remember a time I didn't have a camera. I used to have those, remember the 110 cameras? That like the cine reels, and you had to click, and they're really long, thin things. Like this. So my earliest memory.
It was like point and shoot cameras, right?
Yeah, all point and shoots. Yeah. I was like 6 or 5, and I had like a 110 camera given to me by some family member. I've always had a camera, but then it was like taking photos was such a special thing because it cost money, right?
Right.
So like one roll of film could last you a year, easy. You know, like, and if you went to the seaside with your family, let's take the camera. You know, and if you took like 3 photos, that's nice. You know, it's like it was a real special thing.
Yeah.
I've always had a camera all my life, and I always took very like general shit photos. There's a nice tree, there's a dog, or whatever it's going to be. But then around about 2000-ish, I started to really enjoy photography more and do more photos and stuff, and try and have some kind of, I don't know, like aim with what I'm doing. But then playing music and stuff, it's kind of like you can't put too many things at the same time. You're like, in my early 20s, I used to do a lot of Muay Thai, right? I was doing Muay Thai for like 11 years. But then music took preference, and you haven't got time to do both. So it's like, okay, I'm going to focus on this. So I quit the Muay Thai. And then when music really came again, when I was like 30-ish, late 20s, I kind of forgot about photography, and kind of it was just a little sideline hobby thing you do.
Right.
But then, again, playing with the band, I quit the band 2013, 14, whatever, moved to Hong Kong, and all of a sudden everything came back. Because like, every scene in Hong Kong, every street is a photo waiting to happen.
Right.
Every corner, every alleyway, right? Hong Kong is the most amazing, like, photogenic place because the streets are tiny, it's old, it's a bit dirty, there's a neon sign.
There's a lot of grunge.
It's like grimy, right, you know? I did photos a while ago for a lady in Hong Kong, and she was visiting from another country. And she was like, Hong Kong's so expensive, but it's still really dirty. And I was like, well, it is a bit dirty. And I think she was expecting like Singapore. Like, Hong Kong's not Singapore. Hong Kong is like, it is what it is, right? But every scene in Hong Kong is just waiting to take a photo. So that's when I really got back into photography again. And I did that for like just for a hobby, and generally like a few things here and there, did some menu photos and stuff like that on the side.
Shooting digital?
Yeah, I mean, I've always shot film as well. I love shooting film. I still love shoot film today. Like, film is for me, digital's for work stuff, generally, you know. But then it came to the beginning of the pandemic, and like before January 2020, I was going to Hong Kong a lot of weekends and shooting photos for like cafes and restaurants and stuff like that, and staying for the weekend. And then I was making just about enough money to kind of cover the costs. And I was like, right, I'm going to quit
cover the cost of the trip?
No, cover the cost of me living, like
cover the living
rent stuff, right? So I was working full time. I was a full-time English teacher for an adults place, teaching advanced English.
So after the bar business,
after I came back to Hong Kong, I was an English teacher, yeah.
Okay.
But for adults, not kids.
Right.
And I did it for like 3.5 years.
Like business English, shit like that.
But it wasn't. It was like the owners were super cool. They were like, there was no textbooks, nothing. There was like, just talk to them, do what you want to do. You can design your own lessons. It was fucking great, man. Like, in those 3-4 years, I learned more about China than I have about any other country in the whole of my life. Because like, when you're teaching kids, they're there because they've got to be there, and they've got to learn something.
Right.
Talking to adults, they're paying because they want to be there, and they choose to be with you. And they're so open and honest. It's like, almost like psychologists kind of boundaries. I mean, the things they tell you about their life and stuff, like, I heard some stories, I'm like, holy shit, for real? This happened? Oh, yeah. And it was a great experience. And then I quit that, and I'm thinking, right, I'm going to go and do the weekend things. I'm going to go to Hong Kong every weekend and do the photos for the restaurants and the cafes and shit, and then come back to Shenzhen and chill for like 5 days. And then I quit my job, handed my notice in, December 2019. Back in January 2020, what happened? Fucking shut the doors, Hong Kong's gone. And I'm saying in Shenzhen, twiddling my thumb, was like, that wasn't the best move in the world, was it? You know?
Well, even the school would have been closed too at that time. If you didn't,
It wasn't a school, it was a training centre. It was in Fujian, it was in CBD. It was
but you met
open.
face to face with your.
Yeah, it was in a big classroom. Yeah,
Right.
It was nice. Yeah, it was
So
good.
even during that during the COVID time, that was not possible.
I mean, for like a year, it wasn't possible.
Right.
2022 was the worst time, right?
Yeah.
That was the worst year, but like 2020 was generally kind of okay.
Yeah, it was.
Mostly open, right? It was
Yeah,
towards the end of 2021.
it was like June. June started. It started getting better.
Yeah, it was like
You know?
the end of 2021, and shit hit the fan. They did the real big lockdowns.
Yeah.
Like the first like 2020 and beginning of 21, it was all right. It was just like a little bit closed off, but nothing much.
Yeah, wasn't. I mean, the first half of the year was scary, but then, yeah, the second half of the year
Yeah.
was pretty.
The hardest time was at the end of 20 and all 21, all 22 pretty much were pretty rough, you know?
Yeah, in the beginning of 23.
Yeah. 22 was probably
No,
the,
not
22 was
beginning.
probably the worst.
Yeah,
the hardest
22,
one. The
yeah,
last
20.
year was probably the hardest. And all of a sudden it was like, bang, everything's okay again.
Everything's open.
Yeah, and it's fine. And it was fine, you know? But yeah, so that was what I did. That was a journey between then and then. And I thought, right, so when the pandemic hit and all the visa things got cancelled, like all the tourist visas cancelled, the
Right.
business visas, all this shit got cancelled. So the options were kind of like work for a Chinese company, which I can't do. I don't have a degree.
Right.
Get married, leave China, or open your own company.
Right.
So I talked to, Mantis, DJ Mantis?
Yeah,
right,
of course.
Right, great guy. I spoke to him and he's like, right, I'm going to set you up a company. So we set up a company and it has to be, what can you do? I'm like, well, what can I do?
I can do it for a dog. I can make
I do
pictures.
photo stuff, right? So I started a photo company, and that was done that, and then that's been the bread and butter since 2020, I guess, end of 20 until now.
And that was kind of like now you're doing that full time and nothing else.
Yeah. So I do photography, but I do a few different things. So the main thing I do, I teach photography.
Mm-hmm.
So during the holidays for teenagers and adults, I do like photo camps in Beijing, Hangzhou, all around different places in China, Hong Kong.
You work
Really
with
great.
schools, or is it something independently you set up
I work with, there's a company in Beijing I work with, kind of side by side.
that helps you gather
Company
students?
Yeah, you got it. And then we do adult camps and children or teenage camps, and we go to other places. Like earlier this year in June, we went to Hong Kong for a week, and all the students are teenagers, and it's their first time in Hong Kong. And they're coming from Beijing, which is really quite militaristic and a bit strict, and huge streets and a huge city and very grey. Coming to Hong Kong, they were like, fucking, it's like Las Vegas. You know what I mean? So I teach photography to teenagers and adults, and also I do school photos, yearbook photos and stuff for all the international schools around Shanghai, Guangzhou, up to Dalian, Beijing, that kind of stuff.
So you'll photograph the whole school.
Yeah, whole school.
Set up a little.
The whole school.
Background
So
and-
me and the other photographer, we were in Dalian a few weeks ago. And in one day, so we do portraits, right? So
Right.
the kids come along and do the headshot and then do like, okay, stand there, cross your arms, do this kind of stuff. We took 8,000 portraits in a day, right? Me and her. So we did 4,000 portraits each in a day.
That's crazy.
Man, it's insane. The kids come in, you got like 1 minute, 2 minutes, get them in, do this. Okay,
Right.
off you go. So I'll do head school, that kind of stuff. And
So I have a question about
yeah.
that. How? So when you're doing so many portraits in a day,
Yeah.
how do you keep track of the names?
You have little name cards. So every student comes in, you get the name list from the school,
Right.
and the forms, and each form comes in. You got the name card, and before they take your photo, you take a picture of the name card.
So their name card first, and then their
And
picture.
Then, and then you do like 20 or 30 photos of that student, and then get them out, and next one in.
So then you just go by the file. Okay, this guy,
Yeah.
these 20 below
Yeah.
here are him.
So generally, we allow around about 200 students for one day.
Right.
So if a school's got 1,000 students, that's a 5-day job.
Right.
So if a school's got 600, that's a 3-day job. And we get them in and get them out, and we do all the staff, do all that kind of stuff, yeah. And also I've got a studio in Hongshan, where I live. And we do portraits and stuff there too. Yeah. Well, you're going to come to, mate. And get
Yeah,
your
that's
portrait
the-
done for sure, mate. For sure.
That's where you have the Wild West old film camera.
Yeah. So the cameras there, they're like 100+ years old. They're large format, they're huge negative things, but they don't shoot film; they shoot on glass.
So what does that mean when you don't shoot? So when the light comes through,
Yeah.
it exposes the glass.
The chemicals on the glass, right?
The chemicals on the
glass. You look at the old Wild West photos, right? From the 1850s and shit. They're kind of like browny kind of color, but there's no film. Film wasn't invented then, right? So you get like a silver, liquid silver chemical. You pour on the glass. So you get the glass, you shine the glass first.
So the glass is covered with this chemical.
Yep, you get the glass, you pour it off, and you put it in the camera quickly, and you expose it. And you see those things like the headrest you put behind your head? Because sometimes you've got to do like a 20-second exposure.
So they don't move.
So you can't move. So you sit there and you bolt up, right? Well, now it's a bit quicker. Now you're doing it a couple of seconds, whatever. And then you expose it, and then quickly you have to develop it within a few minutes. And it's like silver bromide, I think it is, on glass. And then you get one piece of glass with a photo on it. So there's no negatives, no film, no paper, just a piece of glass with a picture on it.
So that's the same piece of glass that you actually stick in the camera.
Yep.
So
same
it's
piece of glass.
a squared. Or
it's a like 8 by 12 inch piece of glass with a silver on it.
So then you
use the magic wizardry and the chemicals and shit, and then you've got a perfect, beautiful glass picture, which now with technology you can scan, you can print from, or whatever else.
Sure.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing, mate. It's beautiful.
That's sounds so cool.
When you do film photography too, right? So have you made prints yet? You done your own prints?
I haven't done my own prints. I mean, when I was younger, when I was like 20, 21, 20. Maybe younger. I used to do my own.
So you done the darkroom process? Right?
Yeah, I used to do the darkroom. I mean, we would basically like put our film into a machine, and then the machine would process it.
Yeah.
But then we'd take the negative, and then put that on the enlarger.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
in the studio we got the enlarger, all that kind of stuff. And when you first teach people how to like develop film. Like the chemical bit in the shaking and everything, that's just boring as fuck. But like when you see your negative, which is this big, onto an enlarger, onto a piece of paper, and you put it in the tank, and you see it come up, that's fucking magic, mate. That is wizardry. When you see that an image come from a piece of white paper and just develops.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
just
like a
watch
ghost
it,
appearing,
right?
mate.
And also, it's just like, I mean, there's so many like cool things you can do with it, like. If you put your hand and cover certain parts.
Yeah, the dodging and burning process.
Yeah.
Right? So we think that editing is like new, like Photoshop and shit is new. Since the dawn of photography, they've been doing this. So you dodge and burn, so you cover over certain parts to make it darker.
You want this person to stand out.
And you lighten certain parts, the dodge and burn process.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. But like kids today, like anyone 25 or under has never seen a real print from a film camera, right? Like recently there's a whole trend on the old CCD, the little point and shoot cameras, the early ones, because the quality is crap. But all their life, all they've seen is really good quality. iPhone quality is amazing. Cell phone quality is great. Cameras now are amazing. They've never seen shitty quality photos.
Right.
And that's part of the charm. It's kind of almost like a filter, you know. But that's what it was. And like with film cameras, like it's not as sharp, it's not as perfect as it could be. But that's the charm. That's what you like about it, you know. So now it's like a massive research into like film photography, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see where it's making it's making a comeback. I mean, even like, like watching some of like because I grew up on film photography. Like my dad was always making shots, and then like you just see all these kind of like I was watching all these YouTubers, and all of a sudden they're like, pushing digital photos, and all of a sudden now they're dabbing into film photography.
Yeah, it's like that fashion kind of like cylindrical thing of like everyone wears really, really baggy jeans, and the next fashion trend is like super, super tight jeans, right? It's like we got to the peak of perfection with like our digital cameras now are just so amazing.
And
like
it's too easy. It's too easy.
It's super fucking easy, man. Photography is like, it's going to upset people, but photography is the easiest art form to get into. It's so easy.
I mean, if you have a digital camera within the past 5 years,
put on auto, give it to a 5-year-old, they can take a good photo.
They can take a great photo.
Yeah, it's so easy to do photography now, and that's why, stuff like AI coming in and stuff is worrying some people. It's like photography is so easy to get into. Like you're not getting painters or sculptors worried by AI, but photographers are a bit like, ooh, it's going to steal my job, because it's so easy to get into photography. But like with film, it's so different. You've got to slow down. You've really got to like take your time. You've got to know photography a bit. Like when you were a kid, if there's like a family event or a wedding or an engagement, oh, we're going to invite Uncle Bob, he's got a camera.
Right.
And it was a big deal, right? Nowadays,
He's a photographer.
He's a photographer, right? Right? But now, everyone's got a camera. Everyone's a damn photographer now, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, especially like with how advanced like the phone cameras are getting.
It's insane, mate. It's insane.
You know, like how they're like blurring, you know, the background and creating, you know, like how a lens, you know, would take a picture.
Right. So
it's just like, and it's all done AI.
I mean, until now, it's all done. It's like a digital blur in the background, digital bokeh. But now they're releasing cameras like cell phones that have cameras that have real, actual aperture. So it's actual, real shit, right? So it's a real background blur, not digital. Mate, in the future, next 5 years, like camera sales are bound to like bomb.
I don't know, man. I think yeah, maybe. I mean, they haven't bombed yet, and the phone cameras are already are pretty good already.
Yeah, I mean, they're really good, right? But I mean, when it comes to what cell phones can do, I mean, we've seen that the new Sony released this week. There's AI technology and 120 frames a second, continuous shoot, this kind of stuff. This will integrate into cell phones eventually. There's going to become a point, maybe 10 or 15 years' time, when you don't need an entry-level or intermediate camera. Your cell phone will be better. Right. I mean, the real commercial photographers, the professionals will still need a camera, right? But for most of us, we could probably get away with like a decent cell phone. You know, why would you own a camera and a cell phone when a cell phone is as good? You know?
It's scary. I mean, it's not scary. It's what it is.
Things move, mate. Is what it is, isn't it? You know.
But like for me, like you know, like I recently I bought a film camera, and it's the same camera that my dad had.
Yeah, I heard you mention it.
You know, when we were younger, and the main reason was because like I want prints. You know, like you can take the digital camera and go make prints. Or you can take your phone pictures and go make prints, but like I've never done that.
Why? Same as everyone, but why?
Laziness. Or maybe it's not convenient enough.
I don't think it's convenient. I think it's more throwaway. Our minds, because we're so easy to take a photo, we have less value on that picture. It's so throwaway. We get a camera now, boom, take a picture. It's so easy.
You know, but also too, like, okay, so if I could just be like. Go when I make a picture, maybe I can. I don't fucking know. But if with my phone I could make a picture, and I could tag it. I said make a print, and then when there's 30 pictures tagged that says make a print, and there's like a service out there that just automatically sends that shit to a printer.
There is, absolutely is. There's
well, no,
stuff.
There is, but it's not as automatic, right? It's not. You understand what I'm saying? Like literally, I just want to go boom, 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 boom. Make a print.
There is. There absolutely is. There's apps and shit you can use that for.
See it? I don't know.
Tons of stuff like that. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, of course you can. But I think like we put less impetus, less value on photos we take quickly, and that's why I think film photography is coming back as a resurgence, because you put much more time and energy and thought into it because it costs you for a start.
It definitely costs.
Every shot costs you, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking expensive now,
I mean,
right?
you at least like 200 a roll for 36 pictures, or roughly around.
Depends what you buy. I mean,
if you're buying really expensive, like
good film is easier at 200 a roll. Cheap film is like 30 a roll, but you still got to get developed. And
yeah, so I'm talking about like the rolls. The rolls I buy are like around 70, 80.
Yeah.
It's like Kodak 400, 35 to develop, 2 RMB a print. I usually buy 2 prints. Yeah. So when I think of it, it's like. It
depends on
not cheap.
I mean, you can go really super cheap, or you can go. I mean, I've got a friend who's a commercial photographer. He uses film still, but 120 film, the square film, the big size.
That's much more expensive film.
Yeah. And well, the film's the same, almost the same price, but developing and good quality developing and scanning is like 350, 400 quite a roll. So we spend like 500 quite for like 10 photos, 12 photos.
That's a lot. It's like almost $100.
Yeah, but he's a commercial photographer, so
it's part of his,
right? It's his job, right? Yeah, but still, like I think because. Something's anything in life. When something's for free, you value it less.
Right.
I'm a psychologist. I say I'll give you an hour of psychology for free. Why is it free? Is it worthless?
Right.
If I say the same thing, an hour, but it's only $100, that's a good price. You value it more. you know? And I think photography is kind of the same. You value film more because you have to put more, not just money, but energy and time into making a good photo rather than just blah, 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 which you do on your camera, right?
Yeah, you have thousands of pictures on your
Yeah,
camera.
yeah. Like I said, I took 4,000 photos in a day a few weeks ago, right? On film, fucking mate, that's a mortgage payment, man.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like, when I was thinking about my kids and then my family, you know, my grandmother and shit like that, was just like they all had photo albums.
Yeah.
You know, and they had like, you know, this is the first 3 years. This is the, you know, the next 3 years. This is your grandpa's photo album. This is blah blah blah, right? And then I was just thinking, like, man, like my mom has photo albums of me and all of our little family outings and shit like that. I was just like, I don't have it. I don't have any photo albums of my kids.
And you could ask anyone here.
Nobody does.
No one has prints.
Nobody
They've
has
got
prints.
1,000 photos on their phone, but no one's got an album, an actual book. And
Right.
books are beautiful. They last forever, you know?
You know, that's right. So I was just like, you know what, like that's for me, that was the number one reason to buy a film camera, was to force me to make prints.
Right, you can do it with digital, but
You know?
by film, you kind of make yourself.
You have to. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you when I get my pictures developed, they send me JPEGs.
Yeah, and
you
then
know?
you print them yourself, right? But still, like, you put more thought into the process, right?
So yeah, and it's like, but then also too, like, fuck, I brought my daughter to the zoo, and then the roll was blank. It was like her first time going to the zoo and seeing the animals, and I was, you know,
Fucking damn, man. I mean,
making this like
that's the thing about
memories.
film, right? It's so unpredictable because if you get a shitty roll of film or shitty developing from the from the laboratory, then it's all gone. You know,
Yeah, this is the second time it's happened.
it could be the film, it could be the lab as well. There's a lot of shitty labs in China as well. Not in the whole world, there's shitty labs. You know, so
Yeah, I use this guy out of Lohu who has like this coffee shop film studio,
yeah, I can steer you towards maybe something that would be better.
and then I think he outsources it to probably the guy in
And
Huashan
he puts a bit
Bay.
on top, right?
You know,
Yeah.
But the guy, I talked to a guy in Huashan Bay, who seems like more of like a legit business, but he was more expensive.
Yeah, I know the guy in Watch and Bay.
Not good.
I can send you a couple of places that are really good.
So, wanna go for another?
Part 2, mate.
Part two?
Let's try and not fuck out this time.
Yeah.
All right, nice.
But it's definitely much better with the sugar and the
More
water.
palatable, right? Much easier
It's
to go
more,
down.
So this next time though, I'm not gonna smash it.
Take a few sips.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a few sips. Go easy on it. I think this is done.
It's done. First dead soldier.
Yeah, well, that bottle's almost done too.
Oh yeah. Oh, we can do this. We can finish this. Yeah, come on, bro. We can do this.
Yeah, I'm supposed to go to the beer festival after this.
Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah, I might come along. If I can manage it. I don't want to be a complete mess. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't embarrass myself and say some shit I'm gonna regret.
I wanted to ask you more about the photography business. Now,
First of all,
cheers, dude.
salud.
Now, as a photographer,
Yeah.
and this is kind of the same kind of concept that you were saying earlier. It's like as a musician, when you are not playing your original tunes and you're just working in a bar playing the same songs 100 times a month, like it kind of wears on you.
Mm-hmm.
So also, I would think that the same thing kind of as a photographer, when you're not like, when you're doing school shoots and these kind of like corporate jobs, does it wear on you? Like, do you have like is it just like is it satisfying? Is it just a means to get from this first step to the next step? And like, where would you actually like to
Yeah, right.
to go as a photographer.
So like, I think the same thing. Like we talked about like music. I think 99% of professional musicians are working in cover bands and wedding bands and corporate bands. I'm pretty sure the same 99% of like professional photographers are doing fucking power banks and corporate events, product shots, that kind of stuff. Which to me I would never ever want to do. When I turned 40, I was living in Hong Kong. And I kind of made like a personal promise. I'm never going to do anything I don't enjoy anymore. That's it. So like, one of the reasons I couldn't go back to the UK, if I was back in the UK, I'd be working in a fucking warehouse or working in a
working in the docks.
Working in the docks, right? And I'd be miserable as shit. So like, I think there comes a point in your life, like, it's nice to earn money, it's nice to have a salary and stuff, but also like, we're only here for a short time. And like, after 40, you've got maybe 20 years of work ahead of you, and then you're going to do whatever you're going to do, right? So to me, it's like, I'd much rather enjoy what I'm doing and have less salary, less in the bank, whatever it's going to be, and just enjoying every experience, take something from it. So like, doing product photography, like I've done it before, but I don't do it as something I enjoy. So I did a shoot for an e-bike company recently. A friend of mine does that. That's super cool. I love bikes. I love e-bikes. I love mountain bikes, that kind of stuff. If someone says, come take some photos of some fucking handbags, I'm like, come on, mate. That stuff does weigh you down, right? And I think when it comes to the point where whatever you're doing creatively, if it feels like you're going to the office, then fucking it's time to like cut it off. You know, like I love doing wedding photos. I really enjoy doing events and bars. I like doing food photos. Even though I'm vegetarian, I like taking photos of steaks and all that kind of like ribs and shit. I like that stuff, right? But if someone says, oh, hey, Jay, take us some photos of some sneakers, I'll be like, what brand? You know, like, if they're cool, then fine. But if it's something I don't enjoy, then, like I said, like, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. And if that's your job, and you wake up and you're not doing what you want to do, you're doing what you're told to do. You've got to please the client every time. Like, me and one of my buddies, Enzo, we do some videos for some restaurants and bars and stuff. And it's cool because they tell us, just make us a cool video. Great. If they say we want this and this and this and this and this and this and this, it's like, oh. You know, I don't want to work for someone. I want to work with someone.
Right.
You know, I think in anything you do. So it comes to a point when you've got to, I don't know, for your own enjoyment, you've got to say no sometimes. You know, and like people say, learning to say no is one of the hardest things. And I think it's really true. Like with your own business, like I own a company in Shenzhen, you're offered a paycheck to do this. And sometimes you have to do it because you got to pay the rent. But if you're in a position where you've done okay last month, then you can, you know what, I'll pass it on to someone.
Because most of it's like that, you know, like even for me, right? Like I've been in the book business for 20 years, you know, and definitely like the first 10 years, it was like the most like passionate about doing this work, you know. And now it's just become kind of like routine, you know, where it's just like, it's easy to do. I don't like have to like put so much thought and
because you're very skilled at it, right?
Effort into it, you know. So it's just like, but like when you lose that hunger,
mate, it's always the same. You watch every single boxer, when they lose their hunger, down they go.
Well, so with anything
when
you
you're
do,
hungry for it, you strive so much harder. When you lose that hunger, it is what it is.
And also too, like it. I mean, there's some book designers who I feel like they've never lost their hunger, you know. But like, they're working on much less books per year than me.
Yeah. Probably much more super high level, right?
And they have like, they can work on 3 or 4 books a year, and those books are just fucking
epic,
the
right?
Taschens,
Yeah.
the fucking.
The Taschen book's amazing.
You know, like you know, like, and you know, and maybe it's my own fault because I didn't get to that place, you know, where it just kind of became.
It's not your fault; it just hasn't happened, right? Not yet.
Yeah, but also I haven't really been pursuing that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just more about trying to make as much money as you can.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you know, like luckily, like when I came to China, like being able to like hire people and have a staff, it gave me a lot more free time to pursue other things.
Endeavors. Yeah.
You know, like, you know, for 3 years I was fully, you know,
In the party scene.
in the party scene, and I don't want to say I mean, we're only doing a few parties a year, but like we were making other kinds of content, you know, in between.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like it was like my passion project, you know,
Yeah,
like. And it wasn't just like, if you look at all the people who were doing parties, I don't think that anybody did it like we did it.
Yeah, it was huge at the time.
You
It
know,
was like, I think,
well, not only that, but like we were doing shit like outside of the party. You know, making music videos.
Right. That's the thing.
You know,
that whole like collective. That's the thing. Like when I first became aware of you guys, it was like it wasn't just putting on a party that everyone was doing. It was like the whole media thing and showing the videos, because no one was showing videos. There was photos from like
that was the
party and shit.
That was the very first thing. It was like when we're doing parties, I need a camera.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know, like photos don't do justice to a party.
The feeling, right?
You know, the feeling, you know, putting the music and
yeah.
those crazy moments, you know, that like hot bitch on the dance floor.
Yeah, right. When I first became aware of you guys, I watched like a 1 minute WeChat video. I'm like, holy shit, this is the biggest party of the year.
Right.
And but I'm sure to you guys it was good, but it wasn't massive. But to me as a viewer, because no one else is doing it.
No one else is doing it.
You know, you get some photos afterwards, but you know, photos of guys in the bar doing this and doing it.
Right,
Nothing.
doing
right?
the
Like,
fake model
You see
pose.
some big booty ass fucking doing the twerking thing. This girl on a pole. Holy shit, I want to be there, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, so.
Right, cheers to those times, eh?
Dude,
Cheers to those times.
those were fun times, man.
Let's top up the sugar.
Yeah, it dissolves quite nicely. Yeah. More water, please. But yeah, I mean, that was like the number one thing. It's like I need to buy a camera, and luckily, like there was this like guy, he was doing a trading company, and he hit like a jackpot. Like he sold like millions and millions of fucking like sheep combs. You know,
Combs for sheep.
Combs for sheep to like one of the
Right.
the Uzbekistan countries, right?
Okay.
And he just made a shit ton of money. So he was like, he thought that he was like, he hit the gold. His company is going to be good forever, and then he like overspent on everything. So he bought like the Canon like Mark D3. Like when it first came out, he bought like great fucking lens.
And that's big money then. That was like, you know,
When it first came out,
$3,000 US, man.
It was a great camera,
Yeah.
you know,
They're
for the
still great
time.
cameras, yeah.
So, and then he was selling it for like a quarter of the retail price. You know, and my friend called me like, "This guy's selling this camera. Like, you interested?" And you know, like I was kind of out of touch about cameras because I was kind of like you, like where I've always had a camera in my hand. My dad was always into filmmaking. We've always like I had like the first Rebel film camera, the first Rebel like digital camera, you know, like and then when this camera came out, I looked it up. I'm like, fuck, this is a nice camera. It's expensive,
specs,
and then
nice, yeah.
and then looked at the price. You know, it was, I mean, not the best. I bought it for video.
Yeah.
You know, but it wasn't like the best like option for video, but it made great video.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
for sure,
for its time and for
even now, you can't really buy a bad camera now. They're all so good now.
They're all
and
so
the
good.
price has dropped so much. Like when I was a kid, like if someone had a camera, oh, he's got a camera,
Right.
because you know they put in time and money into this thing they enjoyed.
Yeah.
Nowadays, having a camera is nothing, man. You buy a good camera, new, like 3,000-4,000 RMB. Like when I was a kid, like the camera was like
I don't know what kind of camera you're buying for 3,000 or 4,000 RMB.
You can buy a decent point and shoot Sony for like 4,000 or something.
Sure.
You know? And
Well, I
it's
just spent
good.
like
yeah, you're 20,000-30,000 easy,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. But I mean, you can't really buy a bad camera.
right. They're all great.
They're all really good.
Yeah,
Right?
they're all good.
They're all really
you know?
good. But when I was a kid, like if someone had a camera, holy shit, he's got a camera. You know, he's got 3 lenses. Like, it's a big deal because it took.
He's a real photographer.
Yeah, like, well, I remember my dad bought a VCR when I was like 11 years old, maybe. And the VCR, like a video recorder, was £500, right? That's like probably 2 months' salary. That was a huge
For a VCR.
Thing. A VCR. That was like 1985.
Fuck.
It was like £500. Nowadays, that's
expensive.
like 2 months' salary. At that time, it was a huge investment. TVs were expensive, refrigerators were expensive, but they lasted 10, 20 years. Nowadays, everything.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have your refrigerator for almost your life.
Yeah, whole life, right? And nowadays, you buy a fridge like 3,000 RMB, 2,000 RMB, and it will last you 3 or 4, 5 years, and then you replace it, right?
Yeah.
But then it was a really big thing. But cameras are a really big thing. Look at the price of cameras in the 60s and 70s in comparison to the cost it would be now. It's tens of thousands of dollars compared to what it would be now. It's so cheap. Electronics are so fucking cheap now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's very different in the market where we see stuff. It's like a great camera now is going to be like 30,000 RMB, a great camera. Whereas 30 years ago, a great camera would be 30,000 RMB.
Right.
You know? Things change, man. Electronics just drop so fucking fast these days.
Looking at my camera, you know, I just bought that one for
How much?
22.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like not even like the camera. It's like the lenses are what you spend the money on when it comes to photography. Because the bodies you'll change every few years.
2, 3, 4 years are kind of outdated.
But as long as you take care of your lenses, they can last.
Yeah.
You know, as long as the camera company doesn't fuck you and be like, oh, we have a new lens mount system. You know, I mean, they make like the adapters, but I think the adapters, I don't know. I think they fuck with the quality a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong. You know.
Yeah, good lenses last forever.
But
right?
good glass lasts. Yeah.
Forever. Yeah, like my favorite camera is like the 5D1. That's a 2005 camera. I love it. But
What's that? Like, Canon.
Yeah, but it's like 10 or 12 megapixels. So it's great for photos, but you can't make prints out of it. It's just not good enough anymore, right? And there was like a 56 megapixels and 80 megapixels and shit like this. Like, do you need that? You know, I know so many guys that buy like the medium format digital cameras. Amazing cameras, great. And take a photo of their cat. Take a photo of there's a door. There's a pretty girl in the street. You know, and they've got these amazing cameras taking photos of absolute bullshit. You know, like people think that digital age kind of came in the early 2000s, 2003, 2005. People think before that there was no good photos made because it was film. The best photos ever made were on film.
The best.
Like 2000 was a really kind of like a dawning point. It's when movies went from film to digital, cameras went from film to digital. A lot of things changed. Music went from bands to like electronic stuff.
Well, even just like the switch from like from music, even like, you know, like I used to have. I mean, you used to have your records, your cassettes, your CDs.
Yeah. I want to talk about music with you, actually. I want to talk about hip hop with you, actually.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, the current state of hip hop. Give me what you think. The current state of hip hop.
Like today's hip hop.
Yeah. Tell me right now.
I mean,
the last 5 years.
I don't. You know, like this is. I see this like this is like a conversation that many people have, especially like the hip hop heads online and stuff like that. It's like, you know, like the evolution of music is always changing. So, I like the music that like my father listened to or your father listened to, and then what he thought that we would be listening to is crap, you know. But to us, it was fucking gold. So like, what can I say about the current state of hip hop? It's the evolution of where it's going, and the young generation, you know, they love it, you know, and they vibe with it, and I think that's the most important thing. Me personally, it's not my taste in music, you know, but neither was, you know, my taste in music when I was a young kid, you know, was not my father's taste, you know, and he my father was a lover of music, you know, like he played, you know, everybody under the sun in our house, you know, Joni Mitchell, Michael Jackson, the Beastie Boys. He bought me my first hip hop album when I was 7 years old or 8 years old.
Man.
Like he played, Prince, Tracy Chapman, Joni Mitchell, the fucking 10,000 Maniacs. Like he played the old shit. We always had Led Zeppelin playing. We always had, Jane's Addiction was always fucking playing in our house. And then when Primus came out, he bought Primus.
Really?
So
Damn, he's cool, man. That's good.
He was like always like he's a lover of music, but as I started growing my music interest, it wasn't the same as him, just because it's a different generation. So what do I think about hip hop? It's not stuff that I would want to listen to, but I think times evolve and taste, evolve.
Yeah.
And it's the music that's selling, and it's music that's
popular.
It's popular.
Right.
When they go to perform, they're fucking 100,000 auditorium.
Stadium selling out for this shit.
So like, what? How can I fault that?
Right. So another question. So, what was the first album you bought yourself? So you get to that time in life, you're like 10, 12, 13. And you're not given albums. I was given albums and shit. What's the first album you said, I'm going to spend my money, my pocket money?
Dr. Dre, The Chronic.
Okay. You are younger than me. What's your first 7-inch? First single?
First single? I don't remember the first single.
12-inch?
I was on cassettes.
So you are a bit younger than me.
Oh, well, no. First album I bought was a CD.
No way.
It was a CD. I mean, I was like 12, 13 at the time. It was Dr. Dre.
Oh, The Chronic.
The Chronic. The first Chronic.
Yeah.
And then, but my father gave me, did you ever see the movie Colors?
Of course, yeah.
With like Robert Duvall and
yeah.
Sean Penn?
Man, that was such a good time in that.
Colors. You don't know
80s,
me,
early
fool.
90s, like a lot of these movies around New Jack City came out, Boys in the Hood came out.
Mm-hmm.
And movie makers then were so much more focused on making a really good fucking soundtrack to match the movie.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, piece of shit movies come out with piece of shit soundtracks. Like then, the soundtrack
I remember
was a
like
separate entity. It was so important.
Like people, it was such a big thing to buy the soundtrack.
If it was a good soundtrack,
like I can name like three. Like my dad bought the soundtrack for Colors. You ever see this movie called The Power of One?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I bought that soundtrack, which was this amazing like African score.
Yeah, man.
Well, Hans Zimmer was the music producer on it. The Romeo and Juliet remake.
The remake.
With the movie was okay, but the soundtrack was fucking
good,
fire.
Yeah.
At least I thought so. I mean, for my age, that movie was made for my generation. So for me, that soundtrack was killer.
Yeah.
Like
for me, The Crow was a great soundtrack.
The Crow. I had The Crow too. The Crow.
Judgment Night.
I didn't
Judgment
have.
Night's a piece of shit movie, but it's got a great fucking.
I didn't have the
They got
soundtrack for that.
Booyah Tribe, Faith No More, Disposable Heroes of Hypocrisy, all this great music.
But I had the Crow soundtrack.
Yeah, that was good, man. And that they really concentrate on making a really good fucking soundtrack to match a movie. So you spend double. Right? You buy this shit. But nowadays, what's the last soundtrack you bought?
Probably those.
Yeah, probably those, right? The soundtrack's not important. They're not so important anymore, But I used to love that shit. Like, I grew up on hip hop. Like, my first real band that I really loved was Public Enemy. Right?
Okay.
1988.
Yeah.
I heard Fear of a Black Planet, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? This is like political, and it's angry, and it's hard, and it's fast, and all that stuff. Like, when I was a kid, like, in London, we have a lot of like American stuff come across that we really aspire to. American TV series, A-Team and Knight Rider, all that shit. And it was so glamorous compared to our mundane, boring, shitty life.
Your fucking beans and Frank's fucking meal.
Like, the movie Breakdance came across, right? And then Breakdance 2. And that was like a huge fucking thing. So all of a sudden we heard about this music called rap music. We're going to change? No? So rap music. And then the first 12-inch I ever bought was Dougie Fresh, called The Show. You heard that song?
No.
Man, hip-hop knowledge, history. Dougie Fresh's Show, the 12-inch, that's the first 12-inch I bought. I got into like Lisa and Cult Jam and all this stuff, Melly Mel, Furious 5, all that. And then I heard Public Enemy when I was like 11. And it was like political, and it was angry, and it was hard, and it was fucking Flavor Flav, and they were really serious lyrics. It wasn't swearing. It wasn't just like blunts and bitches and shit. It was like really political.
Well,
strong
hip hop
stuff.
back then was less blunts and bitches.
There was none. There was never blunts and bitches. It was just political. It's like fuck this.
All that came out of Los Angeles when the gangster rap
Public
started.
Enemy did the soundtrack for He Got Game, the Denzel Washington movie. Right?
Yeah.
Great movie, great soundtrack at the same time. And then I love metal as well, so I got into like Metallica and Guns N' Roses. And then the first Rage Against the Machine album. I was like, this is a beautiful thing. This is hip hop, it's rap music, and it's rock together.
Right.
And that was like a dawning of a new fucking
Oh, Rage Against the Machine
evolution.
was epic.
The first album is insane, mate. It's way before its time.
And you know, I loved about that that era of music. You know, it was like when you buy the record or you bought the cassette or even the CD, right? It comes with like the booklet.
Yeah, in the liner notes.
You know,
right?
you have the lining
Photos
notes and there's pictures and sometimes they put in extra content. And if you buy like the limited edition, you get like an extra fucking,
sometimes double CD.
you know, double CD or, you know, extra booklet, you know, and it's just like, you know, you can like listen to the music and then get into that, you know,
Read the lyrics.
read the
Who wrote the
lyrics,
songs,
you
all
know.
that
But
shit,
some, you know, they added extra stuff, little stories and
yeah.
hidden messages and shit like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like nowadays, like I don't even own a CD or cassette.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even
It's all
buy music
downloaded, right?
anymore.
Yeah, it's all downloaded.
It's all downloaded.
It's weird, like when I was a kid, like I got really into music when I was like 11, 12, 13. And you had to go to the record store. And you had to look through the thing, look through the album, look through the CD.
Yeah, go through the
You find
crates,
it, and
you know?
you say to the guy who works there, say, I like this band, I like whatever. Anything nearby, you could try this one. And you put it on the record player, and you play it. I'm going to buy that, take it home.
Right.
And you listen to it, you turn the record over, turn play side by side. But you never knew if you were going to like it until you bought the fucking thing.
Right. Because normally, if you heard it before, you only heard the single.
On the radio.
On the radio.
But
Like
if you listen to like metal and hip hop, you don't hear that on the radio. When I was a kid, you hear fucking Fleetwood Mac on the radio. You don't hear fucking Ice Cube. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I first heard like NWA and I heard Public Enemy and fucking DMX, I'm like, holy shit, this stuff is groundbreaking. You know, the lyrics were so important, they were so strong. And then gradually, it seems like the late '90s we got like Wu-Tang Clan, we got Grave Diggers, these great bands, and gradually it seemed to be like watered down into just like blunts and bitches. You know, it's like I treat hip hop like a sore relationship.
You know, but I mean, but I do want to say like, there's always people making music with a message and with a deeper purpose. It's just that we're not always hearing it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
because like there's so many like amazing groups and hip hop artists and rock bands that make ridiculously good music.
We just don't hear it.
We've never even fucking
Right.
heard about it.
Especially,
you know?
especially here in China. You know.
Yeah, like I don't even like when I listen to like music now, like I usually I go back to my 90s mix and listen to the same shit I did when I was in high school.
16, 17, 18, that's the shit that stays you until you're 50.
You know, like I still listen to that. Or I just go on YouTube, put on like a 2-hour mix.
And see what you like. Or Spotify, wherever it's
you know,
going to be. Yeah.
Whatever. But then I don't even pay attention to who the artist is.
Yeah.
It's just like a 2-hour continuous mix of
It's so throwaway.
a bunch of
It's so
stuff.
throwaway,
You know?
Like when I was a kid, like you bought an album, you listen, you studied the album, you studied the
Okay,
lyrics,
so my
you know?
favorite album, going back to the album, my favorite album of all time, Trainspotting,
Soundtrack.
the soundtrack.
That's got great, because you got Iggy Pop in the opening track, and it ends with Born Slippy.
Dude,
so two great tracks.
fucking
at the beginning
amazing
and the end, man.
soundtrack, dude. Yeah, I think even like in like the American version of the movie, they put like English subtitles.
Mate, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Because like the accents are like so thick. But man, I watched that movie every night because I had a TV and VCR in my room when I was at that time I was living at my grandmother's house, and they had an extra TV and shit like that. Man, I watched that movie. I was like, finish the homework, go to bed. It was probably the only fucking movie I had. But fuck, dude, I watched that every night. And the soundtrack, I listened to that soundtrack so much.
It's a great sound. A great
You
movie.
know?
You know,
Lust
it's like-
for life.
Yeah, like independent cinema. That's classed like an independent movie. It's maybe like Channel 4 films, but it was such a low budget movie, and it was so.
That's Guy Ritchie? Or no?
Guy Ritchie. No.
I don't even remember I don't even know
Guy
who the
Ritchie
director
did
is.
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch.
Okay, Snatch I know.
Snatch is a great fucking movie.
I'm not as good as Trainspotting.
Yeah.
But Snatch is a great movie.
Yeah.
Trains-
Yeah. Snatch is a great movie, really.
You know?
Trainspotting's really good because it was so raw.
It was so
like,
raw.
Real.
You
Like,
know?
this is real life in Scotland. Scotland's like, they only got 3 big cities, huge unemployment problem, huge drug addiction problem, you know, and this is really showing Scotland. Fucking great movie, man.
I love
First
it.
Watch it, like, it almost scares you because, like, I'm in London. Scotland's our neighbour, you know, and I'm like, holy shit, life is really like that. It really is like that there as well. Scotland's an unusual place, mate.
So these have been sitting for almost 25 minutes.
Come on, let's do the thing. Don't skull it this time.
I'm not going to skull it this time, dude. I'm going to properly enjoy it.
All right, cheers, brother.
Yeah, dude. Cheers.
Nice, mate. Happy Saturdays. So today is quite unusual day. There's 3 events happening today. What is it?
3?
Yep.
I don't know about. I only know about one.
What is it? What's one?
The Bionic Electric City Beer Festival.
No, I mean 11/11. What is it? Come on. In China.
Oh
it's what?
fuck! If you're talking about that, yeah, Singles Day.
Yep. And what else is it? There's 2 more. 2 big ones, mate. Come on, you're a champion.
Big Shopping Day.
Nah. There's 2 more. Come on. You know this stuff.
No, I don't know, dude.
It's
No.
Diwali today.
Oh fuck! I don't even know.
You know, you lived in India, right?
Yeah, but I don't know what fucking day
Diwali's
Diwali
today.
is.
And also
Today-
today's Remembrance Day for World War One. 11/11 is Remembrance Day.
Oh, I have no fucking association with World War One.
Really? Okay,
Not even
so-
World War Two.
So for the UK,
I think you guys-
and Australia and stuff, it's like you were the red popping. Today's
Yeah.
Remembrance Day to remember the soldiers that died in World War One and World War Two and all the other stuff. Yeah. Today's
But-
a big day.
But World War One and World War Two are celebrated on the same day.
No, yeah. So the end of World War One, 11/11 was the armistice that ended World War One, and they used that one day to remember all the wars afterwards.
Oh,
so
okay.
World War Two and all the other shit that happened. So the soldiers, not just the good guys, but also the German soldiers and all the other soldiers from other sides. Just remember all the fallen soldiers and the families of the fallen soldiers since World War One.
Oh shit!
Today's Remembrance Day, mate.
No, I
In China,
didn't.
we've got fucking Happy Shopping Day.
Yeah, singles.
Go to the fucking mall and buy some shit you don't need.
Single Dog Day, dude. Yeah, I didn't even know that, man.
Yeah, today's
Oh, because we don't.
Remembrance Day,
I mean, I think it's probably more important than Britain than it is because we celebrate Memorial Day and Veterans Day, which are kind of like our.
But when's the date for that?
Like summer and
Sometime.
sometime.
Like, you've been away from the US a little bit too long, maybe.
Summer and sometime, but like yeah, like this day is off our
Off the
radar.
off the radar, really?
You know?
Okay, if you know the Anzacs, right?
Okay, no,
The Anzacs are the Australian New Zealand troops.
yeah, no.
So there's Anzac Day they have on, like, today is like Memorial Day. It's like a Remembrance Day, big deal for their old fallen soldiers, yeah.
No shit.
kind of stuff,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my great grandfather fought in World War II.
There you go.
So
So today's his day, man. Cheers.
today's his day. I never met him. And he was a fucking slimy bastard. So,
What way?
so my real great grandfather, who is not my biological great grandfather, he didn't fight in World War II. He fought actually in the Korean Chinese War,
Okay.
right?
1950 something, right?
Something like that, you know. And then he married my great grandmother and blah blah blah. I grew up with him. He's like, but my real great grandfather. So he was like a mix of like Mexican, Navajo, Indian, U.S. soldier.
Man, there's a cocktail, mate. There's a
Dude,
cocktail. Nice, man.
dude, I'm a huge fucking cocktail. So he,
You're gonna tell him a huge one.
you know, so fucking he came over to. He joined the army and then he came over to Paris and fought in Paris or France. I don't want to say Paris, but then when he was in Paris, he met my grandmother who was like a teenager at the time, young Parisian girl, beautiful girl, Ended up probably knocking her up in Paris, you know, and then brought her over to the U.S. She didn't speak any English. He ended up giving her fucking 2 kids, and then he left her, right? And then he just fucking went off, just disappeared. So my great-grandmother, who was French, so she was in the U.S. with like 2 kids, didn't speak English. Husband abandoned her, didn't have any money. So she gave up her 2 kids for adoption, my grandmother and my great aunt. Okay. And she just like went to like a restaurant one day and was just like, with her little broken English, like, can I have a job? And the guy said no, but then finally he said, you know, like, if you can make it work within a week, I'll give you a job. So she showed up every day and started working. She still kept contact with her kids, even though she put them in foster homes or whatever the fuck. And so I know my grandmother, and later on in life, like, they kind of reconnected, and now everyone's living. She's still alive. She's like 95, cool. Living in California. So my World War II grandpa was a dick.
We can't relate with these kind of times of trials, these really hard times. The generation now and us, we can't relate to that. We can't understand. Like, even in China, like 40 years ago, people were starving. People had no food.
Dude, it's so.
We've never seen it, you know.
And now we're going into like politics. It's like, I don't want to say politics, but like, the crazy thing is like the comfortable life that we are having right here, drinking any drink that we want to drink. You know, there's that same situation happening in other parts of the world.
Exactly.
Where people are dealing with being.
We can't relate to it because we don't see it. It doesn't touch us and affect us. Right?
Yeah.
You know.
But it's
happening, right? Of course,
it's happening.
Yeah.
You know, it's life's weird, man. It's like you have to. You know, sometimes I wake up and I'm just fucking miserable. And it's like, I don't want to fucking deal with this client. I don't want to deal with this work. I don't want to, you know, just deal with the fucking problems I have with my staff and the shit that they didn't do right. Or whatever, right? I deal with the fucking, my kid who's not doing good in school because he's fucking just like me, you know? You know, but then it's like, Jesus Christ, man, like.
My kid's got a school. I have staff. I have a company.
Dude, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky, you know, compared to like what kind of reality is people are facing. And it's not just a small amount of people.
No, it's hundreds of thousands.
You know, it's not even just like one location. It's just like, man, there's so much struggle in the world, you know, like, I just feel like if I can like just look past my own like bullshit issues, my own little bubble of fucking problems, man, I'm so grateful for what I have, you know, healthy family, healthy kids, you know,
food on the table, a fucking roof over your head, man.
Dude,
like
you know?
The last few nights I've been watching YouTube, and this last week or whatever, I'm watching stuff on the UK because the UK is really fucked. Homelessness, drug addiction, all this kind of stuff. I'm watching videos now, and like, this is not the UK I grew up with. This is not the London I grew up with.
Same. Like, you know? Like in San Francisco, it's the same. It's insane, Los Angeles is fucking.
You watch this shit, I'm like, why would I ever go back there when this is so obvious that problems are so prevalent everywhere, but nothing is done to get them fixed. Nothing is fixing this shit. It's just there, and it's now considered a norm. You know, like having homeless people full of streets with tents everywhere is normal.
And it's like, and it's so weird because like, I mean, it's like, and to fix it, it's like injustice to those people. You know, like,
everyone's bitching about everything.
You know, it's just like, oh my, you know, like, well, when I think about that kind of stuff, like, that's when it's like, you know, like, someday, I seriously just want to like have a farm in the middle of fucking nowhere.
On a rocking chair.
You know?
With your acoustic guitar.
You know? Growing my vegetable, working, you know, like my only fucking job every day is to weed the fucking garden and pick some fucking vegetables And that's it, man. Like I don't want to have like the internet. I don't want to have a fucking cell phone.
Yeah,
I
that's
just,
a dream, man. That's a dream.
You know, I just want to like, you know, and that's what, like if I ever do like make it rich where I could comfortably do that, that's the first thing I'm gonna do, man. I just you know, like I'm already like an antisocial person.
Me too. I'm kind of similar. Not antisocial, but I feel a bit more shy around other people, so I don't interact so much as I could do.
Yeah, same. You know, like
I'm not against people. I just kind of like I'm a bit, you know.
I feel awkward around, you know, like
you know, other parties. I always feel, I walk in a room. I don't want to hook up with someone. I don't want to small chat with someone.
I hate small chat.
I don't want to pay other price for drinks.
You know?
Why am I here? Like, give me a bar, give me a pool.
You know, well, and that's the thing is like
7-Eleven.
You know, I tell people this and they don't believe me because like, man, I used to throw the biggest parties in the world, or in Shenzhen, not the world, fucking Shenzhen.
At the time, maybe in the world.
But I had Schism Mafia as like the front people. You know, like for me, I was just like, most of my job was like already done before the party started. Yeah. I mean, I would still make sure. Right? I would still make sure that everything is like, okay, the bar is good, everything. You know, people working the front desk are good. You know, make sure everything is, the sound is good. You know,
everything's all right, yeah.
But like, I didn't interact with people, and then when people usually try to talk to me at the parties, and it was just like, man, I'm fucking busy. I don't, you know, yeah. They always tell me like, oh, you were so rude to me at your party. I'm like, dude, like.
I'm working. It's work time.
You know, like, yeah, like, no offense, but like, sorry.
Yeah, like when I was working in bars, like managing bars, you got to talk to customers, you got to be the psychologist, you got to be the bartender and do that kind of stuff. That's your job. Working as a musician, same thing. You got to interact with the crowd, how's the things, how's it going, oh, cheers, guys, buy some tequila shots, whatever it's going to be. If I walk in a bar now, I sit on a table on my own, read a book.
Fucking in the back.
Just doing this. Someone talks to me, I'm like, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
You know?
You keep looking at your book while they're talking to you.
Yes. I'm not.
No, sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, I'm not that guy. You know, I'm not that outgoing, like super like talking.
Yeah, me too, man. Like,
I'm not that guy. Shall we?
Yeah, I'm not gonna kill it. We do like maybe a half
French
or some
style.
shit.
Put your finger up.
Oh fuck.
There you go. Nice. There you go. Nice, good.
Yeah, I like it with more water. And the sugar definitely, like
neutralize it a little bit.
It takes the edge off.
For sure.
You know.
Sure. Neutralize a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, because before we were just fucking.
Yeah, that was. Wow. That's all right. It's okay.
Yeah, that's.
So what's your plan? You're going to stay here for? What's your long-term plan?
You know.
I came here for 6 months. I've been here for 13 years. What's your long-term plan?
I have no idea.
Because you got kids here and stuff, right? So.
I mean, like my ideal plan is to. My ideal plan would be like half and half, like half time here, half time in U.S. Or at least like summer times in U.S. and Chinese New Year in U.S.
Because the weather's great here, it's lovely, best time of year.
But yeah, well, summertime is terrible here.
Yeah, but New Year here, like Christmas here, January, February is beautiful.
It's amazing. It's the best time of the year.
Yeah, best time of the year. Summer kills you here, man. Fuck me, I'm dying.
I don't know, man. Like, the moment I can buy that farm, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a dream, man. To live on a farm, grow your vegetables, some dogs and some kids running around, play some music. Man.
So how did you become a vegetarian?
That's a very interesting question. Quid pro quo, Clarice. Why you become a vegetarian?
I was born.
No one's born a vegetarian.
I was born a vegetarian. My parents were vegetarians when I was born.
So no choice?
No choice.
So you got kids now. Would you enforce that on your kids?
I don't. They eat meat.
How does that make you feel? A vegetarian to you wasn't a choice. To me, it is a choice. So how does it make you feel when you see your kids eating meat? Does it bother you or not bother you?
So in my mind, so it does not bother me. Okay, it does not bother me.
Why? Why doesn't it bother you?
Why doesn't it bother me? I just feel that everybody in life needs to make a decision on how they want to live their life, and I will never enforce my beliefs on anybody, including my children.
I feel the same way.
And I married a woman who was not a vegetarian, and that was my choice, right? So I'm not gonna make her force her to raise kids in my beliefs. So I accept that my wife is not a vegetarian, and I accept my kids are not a vegetarian. Probably someday my kids probably will become vegetarians when they're able to make their own choice and understand why I am a vegetarian. And that's what I like to believe anyways. You know, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's also okay.
Yeah.
You know, but like, so that's for me is like, I was born a vegetarian. I was born in the Hare Krishna community. I don't know if you're familiar with the Hare Krishnas.
Yeah.
So like my parents were part of the Hare Krishna community when I was born. That's why my real name is a Sanskrit Indian name. And the only thing that stuck with me from that religious upbringing is vegetarianism. So that's what. And I've only tasted meat by mistake.
Yeah. Me too. The last.
But it wasn't. I've never ever in my life, besides eggs, I tried eggs. I didn't like it. But I've never eaten meat because I was curious to try it.
Okay, so you're a member, right? So member sold meat.
Yes.
Did that bother you consciously, or was
No,
that not a big thing?
it doesn't bother me consciously.
No?
No.
Because business.
It's about like I'm not gonna if I were to have a restaurant that was my own and I was the chef, I would 100% have a vegetarian restaurant.
You know it would fail. Almost certainly depends where you are.
You know?
San Francisco or Los Angeles, you might do it right.
Yeah,
but
you're
in
definitely
China,
not gonna-
forget about it, man.
I mean,
they'll fail. They'll fucking fail.
There's still a few that have been around, like the one in Dafan still around, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a few good ones, but yeah, I'm not a chef, so I'm not. This is never gonna happen. But like, again, it's just like, I don't care what people do, and if they want to eat meat, my partner ate meat at Mambo, and it was no problem for me. I'm not a moral vegetarian, where I need to fucking like. You know, like when you eat meat, you're destroying the fucking world and the biggest pollution of, environmental greenhouse gases and destroying the rainforest and I don't give a fuck.
I think the worst way
You know?
in anything, any of your beliefs, it could be religion or whatever it is, the worst way to put forward your message is by preaching, because you're kind of attacking someone, saying you're wrong. You should do what I do. That's wrong, man. So I've been vegetarian for 22 years now. 22 years. And I never ever talk about it. If I go to a restaurant, go to a bar, and people know I'm vegetarian, if someone asks why, I'll tell them. But I'll never ever proclaim, and And the thing is, I love the smell of steak. I love the
It
smell
smells
of
great
lamb,
when
man.
it's cooking.
When I lived in Shoka, I lived in an apartment above a Mongolian, and the spiced rub sheep, the mutton. Man, the smell was like, so fucking good, man. But I'm not gonna eat it, right? So I'd say when I was.
I mean, the reason why people eat it is because it's fucking delicious.
Yeah, it tastes fucking good.
It smells good.
Right.
It tastes good.
Fucking good, right?
You know?
So I was 25, and I've always loved animals. I always loved duck, not just pets, but animals, ducks and chickens, all that. Pigs. I love pigs so much. When I was at school, we had a course called PFL, Preparation for Life, which I think is a really good course. It was dealing with economics and how to cook, and how to do balancing, how to do your accounts for the month, how to pay your bills, how to do a job application, that kind of shit. And part of that was going to a slaughterhouse and seeing pigs being slaughtered and turned into meat, because it's preparation for life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I refused it. I said, I'm not going to go. I don't want to see animals being killed. I loved animals.
But you were eating it at the
I
time.
was still eating meat, yeah. And until I was 25, and I used to love sausages and chicken, all that shit, ribs, I'm like Rogan Josh with lamb, fucking mate, give it to me all day long. But then I always loved animals, and I was like 25, I was eating chicken, I was eating a chicken curry, and I was eating it, and I'm thinking, like the process between what we eat and this. And as I think one thing is that we see meat packaged in the supermarket, not so much in China, but in Western countries, and meat comes in a little plastic polystyrene box, and it looks like a piece of something.
Yeah.
Not like an animal. In China, you see the whole fucking animal, you see the head and all that kind of shit. So I'm eating it, I'm kind of like, hold on, this animal died. And I put my fork down. I said, I'm not going to eat meat again. And I was 25. I'll never eat meat again. That's it.
Shit.
Because like, when I was young, I was 25, like, pure about animals and the way they feel. And I'm not against people eating meat now. I think it's fine. But I'm against the farming methods. The way animals are treated.
Yeah.
Like if you got a cow and you raise a cow and you put it into it and one day you bang in the back of the head, fine, I don't care. But the way animals are treated, the farming methods, is fucking disgusting. And the dairy industry is fucking disgusting.
Well, I mean, like, it is fucking terrible, but also how they make mass-produced vegetables is fucking disgusting.
Agreed.
You know,
agreed. Right. So
like,
we say we kill insects.
You know,
to
like
make vegetables,
well,
right?
yeah, like
But
it's just it's so hard to eat good food.
Right. The mind of a ladybird or a caterpillar compared to the mind of a pig or a cow is so far removed. To me.
Yeah, life is life, right?
Yeah, I agree. Life is life.
You
I
know?
agree completely. Yeah. So I thought from that moment I'm not going to eat meat. I stopped eating meat. That's it. Stopped it. And I lost about 12 kilos in about 6 weeks.
Yeah, like I'm the fattest vegetarian you ever meet.
Man, no, trust me. I've met some. I've got some Indian friends who are big as hell.
Like, it's all that fucking paneer and.
I was like 102 kilos. I went down to like 82, 83 in about 6 weeks.
Damn.
Eating the same amount, but just stopped. I used to love steak, surf and turf. I fucking love that shit. I love bacon, I love pork chops, I love gammon, all that stuff.
See, I love like fucking chips.
Crisps or chips.
Potato chips.
Crisps.
Crisp.
Yeah.
I love fucking
Man,
crisps.
To this day, mate, my weekly shopping is like a kid's party.
You know, like my favorite meal would be like a big like nachos.
Yeah.
Not
nachos. Oh, the steamy cheese. Oh.
Nachos are like the best fucking meal for me ever. The melted cheese, the beans, the guacamole, the sour cream.
I love that shit. My dinner last night was, from Chunky Mansions. I get the Indian snacks.
Oh, Chunky Mansions is so good, dude.
My dinner last night was Bombay Mix, watching YouTube, drinking fucking vodka. That's my dinner last night.
Dude, I used to go to I used to stop at Chunky Mansion and buy like 15 samosas.
Yeah.
And
like
that would be
$5 each or something.
Yeah, whatever. And then that was like I would put it in my little bag and I would eat that fucking all day in Hong Kong.
Love it, mate.
And then I'd finish after the fucking heavy drinking at the bar. I still have a few samosas left.
Yeah.
Pop those in my mouth. Get on the bus. Come back to Shenzhen.
You ever stayed in Chunky Mansions?
No, never, dude. I'm like a 4-star.
I need to top up.
I'm like
Let's talk some more.
I'm a 4-star, 5-star fucking
Really?
hotel
Mate,
guy,
so,
dude.
let me tell you something.
If I was younger, yes, I would have. You want another piece of ice?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, dude.
Mate,
Let's
come on.
kill this.
Let's do one more.
One more after this?
Come on, let's do one more. Don't be shy.
Well, let's Gambay this.
Let's do one more. Come on, it's Saturday. There's no work, right?
Oh, fuck me, dude.
Come on, let's enjoy this beautiful product. It's beautiful.
You like it, right?
Oriental distillery.
You really do want to kill the bottle.
Nah, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, shit. Yeah, just give me like a little drop and
Yep, sure.
to double up your side.
Right.
Come
Come on,
on,
finish it. Let's do the lucky drop. Come on.
you gotta kill it. You can't leave like a drip. No, you're supposed to kill it on your side, dude.
Oh, there we go.
Dude, I'm like twice as heavy,
Come on,
twice as tall as you.
You check your eyes, man. Let's put even.
I don't think so, dude. My eyes are pretty good,
You
dude.
get my water, all right?
Yeah, you double up the water for me, dude. Holy shit. Or double up the sugar even. Oh, I hate this stuff. Andy, you're a bastard for making this product.
Andy, it's a good product. We like this. This is good stuff.
I hate it. I hate
Do
this.
more. Oh, the other way.
I never thought I would see an empty bottle here.
Nice, sweet.
All right,
Cheers,
dude.
brother. Good to talk today. Good to talk. So, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
In your industry, printing books,
Yeah.
AI.
Huh?
AI.
I'm not worried about it.
It's not going to affect you at all?
I do not see AI is going to affect my business at all.
Nothing at all. Nothing to do with pre-production, post-production, manufacturing, nothing at all, no?
Because, so, when you want to just talk about straight printing, okay, let's just talk about just...
No, the process from
Okay.
the conceptualization,
Sure.
put it together, and then,
Well, but I'm going to
thing.
start from the printing backwards.
All right.
Okay, so just from being on the Heidelberg machines, right, where we're actually printing using ink and paper.
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing that AI can do at this point that will affect the business. I don't see it, and where I come in, where my specialty of printing comes in, because there's millions of books printed every year, but the people that work with me, they want the best quality print possible, right? So when a book is printed, I will go to the factory, I will press check the book, I will look at every sheet,
Colors, the layout, everything.
the
right?
colors,
Everything.
right? Especially I
Colors
go there
biggest
to make sure the colors are good. And right now, AI technology cannot do that kind of thing, just from the printing standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Not yet. Maybe in the future. But I think these machines are so kind of like archaic and just
So analog, so old school, right?
they're very analog. You know, that I don't think that you could have. I mean, maybe you could have an analog, like with a camera that looks at it, that looks at the digital file, that makes adjustments to the ink distribution of the sheet, and then. But I don't. I see the printing technology is very far away from reaching to that point. Maybe in 20 years, totally possible. But right now, I don't see it.
Because printing is still very much paper, machines, ink, putting that shit on there. Right?
Correct.
Still very much.
Correct.
For now.
And it's very much opinion on when the sheet is good enough to run the bulk quantity.
In what way? Like
So the
machine
press
warms up a little bit.
so
kinda
the pressman, right, when we take a book to print, we have digital proofs that the client approves. They're satisfied with
They
this.
sign off, right?
They sign off. They're satisfied with this color. This is it, right?
and
So,
be consistent for the next 1,000 runs or 2,000
but this
runs or
is
10,000
a
runs.
digital proof printed off with like a Epson printer,
Yeah.
like a high quality Epson color printer, right? So not always even like the paper is the same
So
as
the
well.
stock makes a big difference on the color of the inks, everything.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know? So that's when a client really wants to spend the money to make sure we'll do wet proofs. And
What's
the
that? What's a
wet proof is using CMYK ink with offset printing to make the color proofs.
I don't know what it means, but anyway, that's good, right?
It's good. Oh, I mean,
I don't
like
know what I
when
mean.
when you use the Epson proof, right? It's got like 16 colors and it's fucking little well and just going through, right?
Yeah.
But all those are going to be converted into CMYK colors, right? During the printing. So when we make a wet proof, we're using the real CMYK colors.
Direct. Okay.
onto the real paper
Okay.
and making a color proof.
Right.
So,
it's
we're
like-
not printing bulk.
So assume like if you shoot film, if you shoot like color negative film compared to color positive film, you know the difference?
No.
You know, you shoot film, right?
Okay.
So your
Yes.
color film, you're disappointed with your colors, right? And they look a bit flat, a bit muted.
Mm.
Color positive film, instead of getting the negatives being like reversed, you get like you know, remember slides? You put
Yeah, I remember
the negative-
slides, yeah.
So color positive film is like slides. You got real little pieces of perfect art in a tiny little frame.
Sure, okay.
They're the same, right?
Kind of. And in this case, it's like the wet proofs were using CMYK ink as opposed to Epson Epson print, which is
Okay.
using 10, 16 colors,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
It's more real. It's much
Yeah,
more expensive,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's more real,
Yeah.
right? Normally, people will go for the Epson proof because it's 90% accurate
And
to-
cheaper.
and cheap, much cheaper.
Same as
Right.
film. Same as film.
So like we use these color proofs. We match as close as we possibly can this color proof or wet proof to what's coming off the big printing press, right? And once and sometimes it takes me 3 hours, 4 hours to match one sheet. And you have 30, 40 sheets per book.
Yeah.
So it's a
a
long
process.
it's a
It's a
long
process,
process,
yeah,
right? But that's, I mean, if you want like, and especially like photographers, for me, like photographers are the best clients and they're
And the worst.
and the worst
Right,
clients
right,
because
right.
they care so much about how their picture is going to be, how it's going to look in the final product, you know? And then the most picky bastards, right?
For the colors and stuff, right?
For the colors, for the shadows, for the 3/4 tones, mid-tones.
All right, so let me ask you a question. So,
So before you ask that,
carry on.
so I don't think AI can, at this point in my life, replicate that.
Not yet.
Not yet. And then continuing this question is that the books that I make are people who create awesome shit. Architects, designers, photographers, right? Those are my clients. My clients are people who care about people, high level people who create amazing stuff. And AI cannot replace that ever, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know? Yeah, AI can definitely make beautiful architecture buildings and designs and stuff like that, but until the architects or these different people start using AI as their creation tool, my base clientele are creators who use their own hands to create stuff.
Okay.
So,
one thing I agree about that is that the art industry, when it comes to painters, photographers, architects, stuff, you don't necessarily buy the end product. You buy the story. So artists, right? Van Gogh or anyone else, you don't buy the end product. You buy the story that goes with it. It has to be a human element to this end product. So AL can never, like Van Gogh. You know Vivian Maya, photographer?
okay. The name's familiar.
So her story becomes more than her photographs up to a point. It's like people buy story, the background, more than the photographs. Van Gogh, you buy the story because he was crazy, kind of, that kind of stuff. I kind of feel like AL will never replicate artists in that respect because you don't buy the story. There's no story to go there. But to me, the thing is, things can be replaced. Architects can be replaced, for sure, because we don't really know any famous architects.
Sure we do.
General public, who they know?
I mean, Frank Lloyd Wright is probably the most famous.
Okay, ask 100 people who Frank Lloyd Wright.
Nobody knows.
No one knows, right? Ask about Raphael, ask Donatello, ask about Da Vinci, they know. Ask architect, no one knows. I think I can be replaced by AI, but some things can't. Like painters can't, sculptors can't. Photographers absolutely can be replaced soon by AI.
I don't think so.
Why?
I mean, like, what? How do you imagine a photographer getting replaced with AI?
Because, okay, if you're a basic consumer on Amazon or the internet, I want to buy, I'm looking at photos of poppies.
And that okay. So you're talking about stock pictures?
General people, what do you search for? What do you look for? And you look for, I'm a general person, I'm looking for girl in bikini, I'm looking for hot, sexy girls, I'm looking for, what am I looking for? 99% can be replaced by AI.
But
art can't be replaced. But general images absolutely can. 100%.
you can't replace little Johnny Wong who goes to the school with 200 other kids who you have to take the yearbook photo for.
But that's why. So that's what I'm saying. That in the future, like, there's a lot of like photography stuff and art stuff that can be replaced really, really freaking fast. But like events, weddings, portraits can't be replaced. But product photography in a second can be replaced. In a heartbeat. There's so many things that can be replaced by AI. AI is a very, very powerful tool, and we shouldn't be scared of it. We should embrace it and say, you know what, this is it's an advantage to us, not disadvantage.
You know,
Photoshop,
like,
you know?
Like I had this friend one time. No, I don't want to call him a friend. Like
You knew
this guy. It was here in Shenzhen, and you know he knew I was a graphic designer, and he was a young startup graphic designer, right? He was very young in his career, and he asked me like aren't you worried about like Fiverr and all these like web page companies that like, you know, if somebody wants a logo where they can, you know, instead of paying you at, you know, $2,000 for a logo, they can go there and pay $50. And I said, no, I'm not worried about that. Like if you're worried about that, you're not doing your business right.
Right.
Like if that's a concern with you, there's something wrong with how you think and how you operate your business.
If you are replaceable, you're worried. If you're not replaceable, you're not worried.
You know, like so, like people who come to me, they respect what I do. They appreciate the craftsmanship that
the aesthetic, what you provide,
that I put into what I offer them, and that's why they hire me. And from a young designer, I understand it, right? Like he's just starting out in his career.
Man, fuck that. You study for 4 years. AI comes in, they can do it shit better than you. You motherfucker.
You know, I mean, it's terrible, right? Like, it's like, I mean, if I were to come in as a designer now, like, I might be scared. You know, but like at least I came in. I started my design career when the internet was just starting.
Yeah.
You know, like we didn't have to worry about all these web pages where you. For me to answer that question to him, maybe it was unfair because I was already established.
Yeah.
In my place in the world, you know, as far as what I can do and what I can offer, but I still think like as long as you can provide something unique and special, individual,
Yeah.
as a service,
Right.
you know, and it may not even be like what your end product is so special, but as long as the process of creating that, you know, is good for your clients, I think you won't have a problem.
All right, so another question.
Yeah.
You're 43, I'm 47.
Yeah.
If you go back to when you're like 16, 17, 18, if you could choose your career for the next 20, 30 years, knowing what you know now,
What would I do?
what would you do?
Two choice. The number one choice is I'd want to just fully become a game designer
Why?
because I'm very good at it.
Really?
I have the mind for it. But like,
Do you enjoy it?
I love it.
Making board games, right?
Board games, video games, card games, whatever. Magic the Gathering style
yeah,
games.
that kind of stuff, yeah.
Fucking. like I was
If you
talking.
knew when you were 20, Magic the Gathering, you'd be fucking a multi-billionaire right now, man.
Well, I was playing Magic the Gathering when I was 14.
Oh, okay, if you were 10.
I was 10. You know, like I met the fucking creator, Richard Garfield, at a fucking con when Magic the Gathering was first.
Comic-Con.
Before Comic Con.
Okay. Because in the UK, we have something similar. We have one called memorabilia,
Yeah.
which is like the Star Wars guys, the Star Trek guys, the movie guys come there when they're washed up and they sign autographs. So I mean, all the Star Wars guys, really good ones.
Where I actually met him was, now they have E3, which is like you don't know?
No.
So E3 is like the big video game convention of the year, like the
I
top.
don't remember the games, never.
Okay, so before E3, the video games were part of CES.
What's CES?
CES, like a Consumer Electronics Show.
Okay.
So before video games didn't have their own trade show, they were wrapped into CES.
Okay.
And Richard Garfield, the creator of Magic, this was like 95. I was just
Get the fuck out, really?
a teen at night, maybe 96.
Okay.
Right? My dad was working for a company that went to this fucking trade show. I met him. I had a fucking card signed by him. I still have Magic cards.
Is it worth money?
I
I know some Magic cards are worth crazy fucking money.
I could probably buy half a house with my Magic cards in the U.S.
Holy shit, man.
So
I've got a friend who collects basketball cards from the 90s, and he told me he could buy like 2 or 3 houses in the US with his collection.
Yeah.
It's a fucking folder. He folds
yeah, my parents have it. My cards are not that worth it. Several houses, but half a house for sure.
Damn,
Probably like
man.
30,000 USD
It's a piece of paper.
for a
It's
couple
like the
for a couple
Pokemon
hundred cards.
It's like the Pokemon thing's become so collectible because it's so limited in supply. You know?
Yeah, and this Magic was like Pokemon was like I started playing Magic. Magic came out before Pokemon. Pokemon came out later. And for me, Pokemon was like the boring, dumb game for younger kids, and Magic was like
The adult game.
the adult game.
There's
But
still gatherings in Hong Kong and shit all around for Magic.
yes, it's still huge.
It's a big thing.
Still
thing,
huge.
Yeah.
You know. And every year, my cards are
Worth more money.
worth more money. Yeah.
So you would be a game designer for board games and
Video games.
video games.
If I could choose, the second choice was I would want to be a chef.
Oh, fuck
Vegetarian
that.
chef.
Fuck that, mate. Fuck being a chef, mate. It's fucking awful. You work in the kitchen, right? Working in the kitchen is fucking going to war every single day.
Fuck is beautiful.
No, man, no.
You know what? When you work for a fucking place that doesn't care about the food, it may be awful. But when you're a chef, this is your art form, and every person who comes in here is gonna eat your painting, then I think it's worth the fight. For me, if I would have loved to have been a vegetarian chef at a very small niche restaurant and make the best vegetarian food you could fucking imagine. Because I went to this place in San Francisco, right? And being a vegetarian, most of the places, and I know you agree with this, most of the places we go to, the vegetarian food is mediocre.
Sucks, man.
And it's
Mostly sucks.
Mostly
really.
sucks. There's no place that you go to like fuck. This is really banger. Indian food, probably the closest
Probably
to
the
being.
basis in the whole world. Yeah,
It's
probably.
probably the
Sure.
closest place to
But
be a
if you
banger.
like Indian food,
Yeah, but also because Indian food is also half vegetarian.
yeah. But
So
if you like burgers and hot dogs and pizza, like forget about it.
Forget about it.
mate.
Yeah.
I make a great veggie burger, mate.
No, I fucking love a good burger, dude. So, I went to this place in San Francisco. I don't even remember the fucking name. You would go there and spend like $400 to $500 a person,
Get the fuck out, man.
like without drinks.
Mate, that's a wedding ceremony.
But let me tell you about this fucking food, dude. This what blew.
There's no meal worth more than $100.
Okay,
No meal.
for me, it blew my mind. See, I was the same. I would think the same way until I tried it. I was like, what you could do with vegetarian food and what these people did with vegetarian food blew my mind. I'm not like a fucking like I need something to look beautiful and small and feel hungry afterwards.
Huge plates and tiny portions. Fuck that.
Yeah,
mate.
fuck that.
Give me a meal. I want a meal.
These guys made you like the best meal. They had their own fucking farm where they produce their own 100% pure organic vegetables. It was mind blowing. Like for me as a vegetarian who grew up and going to vegetarian restaurants and trying this food and that food, I'd never experienced food like this before.
Really?
Dude. And I was just like, holy shit, man, this is like the fucking it's like if you were to go, they're not a Michelin star restaurant, but if you were to go to a Michelin star restaurant to eat food, kind of like that, but with nice portions.
Right. One thing I fucking hate. I've got many pet peeves. One thing is that you go to a restaurant, you pay a good price for a meal, and you feel hungry afterwards. I fucking hate. There's a guy in show near you, Trafalgar. The other guy before the burger guy. What's he called? The guy run out of town. Forgot his name.
Flo?
The burger guy.
What burger guy?
And before Trafalgar, there was one other guy.
Juice Baby?
No,
Not Juice Baby. Juice Baby.
Great. Oh, a
Flo?
French guy. It's a
French guy.
I'm not sure. But he made burgers. And the burgers are so revered.
Fuck. Dennis, MASH.
Dennis, mash. Fucking mash. Fuck that place. Asked him for a vegetarian burger. He gave me a fucking bun with some vegetables inside. 140 RMB. Get the fuck out. Mate, I make food. I cook food, right? I know what food is. Don't give me a fucking vegetables in a fucking bun. Get the fuck out, you piece of shit.
Dude, okay. I love Dennis. Like,
I dislike Dennis.
he told me, he's like, I hate vegetarians. You're the only fucking vegetarian I've ever met in my life that I like. And every time I went to his place, he probably fed you garbage.
Yeah,
honestly,
really.
he probably was like,
Shit, absolute shit.
Probably like, you're vegetarian. Let me just throw shit on shit and charge you.
He put rocket and tomato with some squeeze and a bun.
Yeah.
140 kwai.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
But when I went to his place, and he used to always, he used to take care of me. Like, he always used to make me good. But he said, every vegetarian that comes here, I'm just going to fucking rip.
Dennis, if you watch this, you fuck you. You fucking cocksucker. Fuck you.
Yeah, he hated vegetarians.
No. But like, for me, as a restaurant, you know, I've done bars and stuff before. I guess 10% or 5% of your customers are going to be vegetarian. There's no reason to not put something option on the menu for vegetarians. You just use the same ingredients. You use cabbage and fucking tomatoes and shit. Just do a falafel. Falafel's so easy to make. Why don't do this? Why not? What's so hard to understand that vegetarians need to eat too? You know?
The one thing I like about you is you're like, what's the right word I'm trying to find out? Like, you're a warrior of like vegetarian social justice in the groups. Like I saw you the other day, like bitching about the falafel place.
Fuck that place. Like, they were so good, but still, like it costs nothing for restaurants to have a vegetarian option. Nothing. It costs a few quite a year.
Yeah.
But still, like, provide food. We have money. We're going to pay for your food. We're going to pay for dinner, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking places, man.
Yeah, I don't understand why yours is so beautiful and mine's looks like a fucking dirty cousin.
Don't say that. I guess mine's more sugar than yours. Sure.
No, but it's the same. It's one square. Like what
Really?
your square was. What
I guess what comes out of your mouth, good into the glass.
the good intentions?
Right, cheers, mate. Nice.
Cheers, dude. So, I never got the answer to the question I was trying
What's
to get
that?
earlier.
What's the question?
Photography,
Yep.
relatively, as a business, is new to you.
Yeah, sure.
What's your end game as a photographer?
So, like I said, during the times when it was like the visa getting kicked out, I didn't choose to own a photography business at all. I had to.
Do you think it's one of the best decisions you made?
No.
So even today, no?
No, of course not. Photography now is so cheap now. It's so throwaway, you know. But I had to make a decision. I had to make either get married, join a Chinese company, leave, or open your own company. Open a company. I've got a photography company, which was the best I could do at the time. You know?
Okay, so when you answer this question like this, it doesn't make me feel like photography is what you want to do as a profession.
No. So photography as a love, as something you adore, is something different as a work choice. You know, it's like you could love wearing nice clothes. Doesn't mean you're a model. You could love gambling. Doesn't mean you want to own a racehorse. I love taking photos. I always love taking photos. Always, my whole life, I love taking photos. Doesn't mean I want to do it as a living.
But that's not the dream.
No, I mean, if I had,
All right, so let's get real for a minute. You're 46, 47, 47 years old.
yeah,
You have 13 good years of work time.
like happy years in China. Yeah, for sure.
Well, not even about talking about China, but just as you know, ideally by the time you're 60, you want to think about settling down and
Like, no way.
driving cruise boats and
No way.
going
No
to the
way.
Bahamas.
No way. So everyone's got a life dream, right?
Yeah.
You know what this much, they're going to retire and do this.
Yeah.
My life dream was like, I'm never going to stop working.
Doing
I'll
photography?
never stop working, yeah. If it's writing or photography or whatever I'm going to do, I love writing too.
So you asked me a question, and I said, like, if I could start back when I'm young,
Yeah.
what I want to do. I want to be a game designer, and I'm still working towards that goal. Like, I've never published a board game that I've created, but I have 2 bangers that I believe are super good, and someday I'm gonna publish those, and people who've played them love to play them. So someday I hope to accomplish my dream, and let that push me to finally reaching to the place where I wish I've always went to. If you were in your 20s and you could start over, what would you want to do?
So to this day, my first dream was to be a fashion designer.
Close.
Clothes, yeah, clothes. When I was at school, it was like the late 80s. I took textiles as a course in school. And there were like 30 girls and me. And the teacher told
You're the
me,
one gay guy?
Really? And she told me, only gay guys choose fashion. I was like 14, 15. I was like, okay, so I can't do that. Next thing, what's next? I want to do drama. I love drama. I love theatre. I love dramatic. I love drama. I love stage shows. Yeah, only gay guys do drama. So when you're a 16-year-old boy,
Yeah.
someone's telling you only gay, I was like fucking crushed. I was like, okay. Then because
It's not for me.
You're young bull. You think you're gonna be strong and shit, whatever else, you know. But my,
And the things you love doing.
I love art. I love fashion. I love drama. I love theatre. I love theatre. I love live shows. So if I could go over again, I would not listen, and I would be either a drama actor, which I wish, but I'm too tall for drama, or a fashion designer.
Which you could.
I love fashion. I love design. When you see someone in the street,
But you could do that now.
yeah. But
I mean,
yeah, agree. You're never too old, it's never too late. But
we live in a so the number one thing I love about Shenzhen, and this is what if anybody asks me why you like this place, the number one thing is that anything that you want to fucking do, you can do it here.
yeah.
Anything.
You're never too old, it's never too late.
And you're never too old and never
It's
too
never
late.
too late, really. I agree. And when I see someone who's dressed really well, good shoes, good handbag, nice clothes, I'm like, wow, I appreciate that so much more.
So photography is not your passion.
No, images. I love images.
So you do photography because you feel like you have to, not because you see a big end game out of it.
I love images.
Because like the answer that I expected you to say was like, I would love to be, I'd love to publish my own book.
No.
I'd love to,
No, mate.
you know, like
I
be
love
in the
images.
galleries around the world.
I love images. So like, I follow accounts on Instagram and WeChat. I love tattoos. I love illustrations. I love cartoons. I love photos. I love paintings. I like images. I like to see something, but wow, look at this. It's an amazing thing. I don't care the medium. Photography is the lowest class of artist. I mean, but I love images. I love strong images. Like SJ did a great poster for his thing today. Wow, that's a great image. I like strong images. I don't care about where it's from. I love painting. I love finger painting. I love everything. But images, the flat format of images, I love so much.
Well, cheers to that, dude. Well, I love your photography work. I know that you only show publicly your personal creations, and mostly what I see of your work is kind of like street style,
Yeah.
which is you're very good at, and you capture moments of time so well. You know, when you see the old guy sitting inside of his shop, or
Like to me, it's like you should do what you know. So if you're from the princess levels, you do princess stuff. To me, I'm from the working class of London. They're all, my neighbours is like Jamaicans, West Indians, and us. So people close to you, the street cleaners, the pub workers, the guys who, do the stuff.
you know, but like
That's who you connect with.
when I see like the best photographers and photographers I've worked with, right? Like they get paid bank just for one picture, one portrait, you know. Fucking David LaChapelle.
Oh, my. Amazing.
One of the, in my opinion, he's probably the best photographer of my generation. You know, just like and for me, like you said, like earlier, like photography is so easy and so bottom level. Like what he does with photography and what he makes people do
Right.
to capture the picture
It's so much higher.
is fucking
Agreed,
ridiculous,
agreed,
you know?
Agreed.
And if I were a photographer, and sometimes I wish I was, That's what I want to inspire to.
Yeah.
Like, I want to spend 1 week making one fucking picture.
Right. Exactly. So the best
You know,
photos-
the fucking
So you meet someone. I do school photos. Come in, hello, bye, gone. If you spend a day with someone, me today, hang out, have a chill, talk, and say, let's do one photo. After drinking and talking, hanging out and stuff, you get much more real photo, rather than come in, bang, gone. You know, but like these moments only come from like closeness.
But I don't think that necessarily he's close to those artists.
No, I think close is everything. Closeness is everything.
But I don't think he's close to all the people he photographs.
He hangs out, he talks, right?
Well, of course, you need. I mean, one, it takes balls. Two, it takes preparation.
Of course.
And
right?
and the magic of one of the hidden magics of the photographer is to make people feel comfortable. You know, because when you're taking somebody's picture, they're guarded. They feel not beautiful. They feel in the spotlight, which is an awkward feeling.
Of course, right, mate.
You know.
So Abraham Lincoln said, if
You-
I had 10 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 7 hours sharpening the axe.
Right. Yeah.
And so you talk, you hang out, have a drink, talk some more, and then it's okay, you photo,
Now we chop the
Sure.
tree.
and now you chop the tree.
We're gonna fucking end it on that, dude. We're gonna kill this. Ready to gambe? I still don't understand why my fucking dirty cousin was.
Mom, don't be shy.
Fuck, I can't do it.
Go again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're out. Andy, I fucking hate you. Jay, Illmatic.
Cheers, brother. It's been a good day today, eh?
Dude, it was fucking
We're talking about
fantastic.
so much stuff, such random stuff.
Oh.